Welcome to the following presentation of the National Football League on NFL Network.
Night number 2 for the second city to be hosting the 2015 draft. Don't go anywhere. NFL Network's live coverage is on the air.
Picturing who you want to be is the easy part. People throw around terms like natural talent, special gifts. But no one gives you anything. The true naturals, the real special ones, they get that. But all those hours you put in, all the time and all the fun you give up, no one ever sees. They take you right back to where you started. Right back to who you decided you wanted to be. I'll tell you something about this city. It gives you what we all need in life. A sense of awe. It teaches you just how big life can get. Get that at a young age, and you're not going to be intimidated by anything. You're going to want more of it. You're going to want to be a part of it. Tonight's about a lot of things. It's about new beginnings. It's about the biggest stage. It's about what that stage can offer the boy inside every man. When they call your name, that's the easy part. By the time you get there, you know that better than anyone.
And the unmistakable voice of Dick Butkus will be heard from the podium tonight, as he is one of the returning legends here to announce picks for the franchises that made them stars. Welcome to night number 2 and rounds 2 and 3 of the NFL Draft. For the second straight night, the commissioner of the NFL will be putting a team on the clock to start the night from outside. Here is Roger Goodell in Draft Town at Selection Square.
Okay. Good evening, Chicago, and welcome to night 2 of the 2015 NFL Draft. Announcing the team selections tonight will be 32 members of our NFL Legends community, including these 6 Hall of Famers. To my left, the newest member of the Hall of Fame, Charles Haley. Willie Brown, as you can see from the Raiders. And Dwight Stevenson from the Miami Dolphins. And to my right on the end, with the cowboy hat, Mel Blount of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And next to him, number 12, Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills. And for you, Chicago, the great linebacker, Dick Butkus. So here we go with round 2. You ready? The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock. Have fun.
And so the Honda War Room cam taking us into the place where Marcus Mariota became the 2nd overall pick of this draft. That now continues with the 2nd overall round. Number 33, the Tennessee Titans, Ian Rappaport may already have some news on this pick. Ian, what can you tell us?
Rich, I am told the New York Giants are making a huge push with the Tennessee Titans to trade up for number 33. They've been getting a lot of action in Tennessee. Some teams trying to move all the way up, including the Falcons, including the Seahawks. Keep an eye on the Giants. And now, Rich, the Giants are on the clock.
There you go. So, I mean, that's no surprise that a trade could be pulled off so quickly since they've had hours to work on it. And Ian Rappaport reporting that the Giants have now struck this trade to move up from 40th overall, 7 spots to start tonight. What do you think this might mean?
Well, as I'm looking at my board and their team needs, they could use a corner because of Prince Amukamara, and he's one year left on his contract. He hasn't had great durability. Jalen Collins from LSU was a first-round corner. Eric Rowe from Utah would make sense. And then also they're looking for front 4 personnel. I don't think they'd go with a Randy Gregory, but Eli Harold, Preston Smith would make sense also.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because there was a little bit of talk in the first round about Amari Cooper. Possibly if he had been there, they could go wide receiver.
You know what? I'm not even thinking straight. The guy that I just called the best value, Landon Collins. They don't even have enough safeties to line up right now. Landon Collins makes a ton of sense.
And in order to do it, they coughed up their 4th round selection at 108 overall, and their last pick in this draft, 245th overall, to jump up from 40th to 33. And then the Buccaneers are on the clock with the Raiders, Jaguars, and the Jets right behind. And that's the way this night kicks off, with round 3 coming after it. So, Charlie Strong, you have any thoughts here?
Well, you know, when you think about it, and if they don't have any safeties, then Collins is the best available right now, has first-round talent, and he's a guy that can drop down in the box and play in the box, and also has enough range to go play the middle of the field. It'll be a great get for them right now in the early pick.
Right. And we know how motivated Collins would be. He tweeted out about the motivation factor, about not being selected last night and what a team will get. But I think the name you brought up earlier, Eric Rowe, is an intriguing name because people can use him as a long arm press corner, or you can swing him back to safety, both of which he did at the University of Utah.
And part of the, you'd think that the Giants would strike this trade and would make the pick immediately because they know who it is. But the commissioner, I think, has to come back across the street before he introduces Sean Phillips to make the pick. Sean Williams, pardon me, a longtime safety for the Giants. So it would be interesting if he's the one to announce the newest safety for the Giants when the commissioner can get across Michigan Avenue and back in the building. Once again, it's the 108th pick overall in this draft, the 4th round selection, and also the 245th selection to swap spots here in the 2nd round with the Titans.
And Landon Collins basically crosses off all the boxes to be a New York Giant. And they're one of the teams that care about character. They want to know if you were a team captain in college. They want to know what kind of person you are to go into their locker room. And he checks off every one of those boxes.
Was that last year or 2 years ago?
Finding Giants?
Where every single pick that they had was a team captain. So I don't know if that was last year or 2 years ago.
It's almost every year.
It's almost every year.
Certain teams have put a real premium on that.
There's the crowd that's outside. It's about a 50-degree night right now. Going to dip maybe below 50 at some point. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 70 degrees in Chicago for the first time all year. And they're expecting over 250,000 folks to be in Draft Town tomorrow afternoon for the rest of the day. Chris Rose on that outside set in Draft Town. You have the floor on this pick.
All right, Rich Eisen, thank you very much. Got a Super Bowl winning coach Brian Billick, former league MVP LaDainian Tomlinson, resident Scott Daniel Jeremiah. What are they doing here?
To me, Landon Collins would seem to be the pick because you have a need at the position. He's the best force safety in this draft. You're in a division with the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles who want to run the football. Having a force safety like Landon Collins would be a nice fit for this football team.
Yeah, I echo that. You have to take a safety here. He's a game changer, and once he walks onto the field for the New York Giants, he's going to instantly make that defense better.
Yeah, you could think about a receiver to go opposite, obviously, what they've done last year with Odell Beckham, but you're talking about Darrell Green Beckham, which is we just heard about the character issue and the way the New York Giants go out. You don't see that as a fit. So obviously what we just talked about makes sense.
Real quickly, Tennessee trading out, interesting to you from their standpoint?
You know what? We've said it all day long. Tennessee needs a lot of help. They need a lot more picks.
So they end up picking up some nice draft picks, a 4th rounder and a 7th rounder, and they move back 7 spots. Once again, a huge crowd on hand here in Drafttown, USA. You're getting a good look at Grant Park, and the commissioner, we believe, is back from his brisk walk across the street and inside of the auditorium at Roosevelt University. And he will get us jump started with the first pick of the second round, which now belongs to the New York Giants. So let's send it back inside. Here is the commissioner, Roger Goodell.
The Tennessee Titans have traded the 33rd pick to the New York Giants. To announce the New York Giants selection, please welcome from UCLA, the 24th overall selection in the 1998 draft by the Giants, defensive back Sean Williams.
All right, Chicago. With the 33rd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Landon Collins, defensive back, Alabama. Go Giants!
Landon Collins, safety, 2014 first team All-SEC.
Intercepted by Alabama. Landon Collins came up. How huge was that?
Landon Collins is 6 feet, 228. He runs a sub 4.5, and he plays every game with his best effort. Best in the box safety in the country. I think he's a dime linebacker. The model for that was last year's first-round pick, Deon Buchanan in Arizona. When you're a defensive back for Nick Saban, you're well coached. Play action, watch this guy trust his eyes and drive on the football. Play action, ball's in the flat, look at the closing speed. When he sees it, he trusts his eyes, and he brings out all 228 pounds with him. And finally, he finishes. He finishes in the run game, he finishes in the pass game, and he's got a little more range than people think. This is the throw against Florida, where I like the play he made on the seam, down the middle, and then turned into a running back.
He made 2 of those plays against Florida.
Yep.
Very similar plays where what you said, I said it earlier tonight, much more range than he gets credit for. Don't just paint him as strictly a box safety, although that's what his strength is. He can roam a little bit more in the midfield range. You can play him a little bit deeper at times. He gives you that flexibility, and now you've got an extremely motivated young man. Daniel Jeremiah, I know you've got a comparison for Landon Collins. We've been watching him all spring on Path to the Draft.
No, look, he is a very, very good football player. A couple players come to mind. You look at William Moore, who plays for the Atlanta Falcons. He's built like a linebacker. Same with Landon Collins, but you play him at safety. You can match him up in coverage with tight ends, but I think he is underrated on the back end. You see the one-handed interception right here as the high safety. William Moore, what he will do, he will stroke you if you come across the middle of the field. The same with Landon Collins, and both guys in college, at Missouri for William Moore and at Alabama for Landon Collins, outstanding on special teams, true 4-down players.
All right, so we're 1 pick into our night. We're 1 trade into our night. Here comes the second pick of the night, the team that we last saw with the first pick last night, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Less than 2 minutes to go. The Honda War Room cam peers in on what's going on in Tampa. As Lovey has left the room, it appears. Maybe he's on the phone. Maybe he went out for pizza. I don't know. I would doubt that, right? I mean, this is a big moment here. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock. What do you think that's going on right here, Mike? What do you think here?
I think it needs to be an offensive tackle. And at this point in the draft, there's an opportunity to look at number 1 from Oregon, Jake Fisher, my bad, Donovan Smith from Penn State. I think they've got to take one of these guys, and because if you look at their roster right now, they really don't have a starting right tackle, Charles.
Yeah, Coach, when you look at these guys, you want big guys. I think this is the pick that we're talking about, a big person going for Tampa Bay. I think they've got to get some people in front of Jameis Winston. To invest in your quarterback, you got to protect him.
Well, Mike said it, when you look at who's available at that tackle position, because it's always about big guys, and you're always looking to protect your quarterback, give him the opportunity to stand back and go throw that ball. You look at what they have. They already have Winston, so they need to protect him. And then it's all about him sitting in the pocket and making the throw, but building that wall up front.
Yeah, $24 million contract for 4 years. They already signed him to at 16 and change guaranteed. So let's keep that protected, and it's time for the pick. The commissioner will have I guess the path graded for him by Mike Allstott. That's what he normally did. So
will he push a truck in front of him as he used to do in his workouts?
Remember
Allstott?
Yep.
That truck up an incline.
That's right, Mike Allstott, who's
high school football coach now.
I know whose charity event Jameis Winston appeared at recently, leading to a certain Instagram photograph.
You are a font of information.
Well, listen, Mike, you know what? I'm just trying to see, and of course, Allstott is leading the way.
Mike Allstott.
To announce the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selection, please welcome from Purdue University, a second-round draft pick in the 1996 draft by the Buccaneers, running back Mike Allstott.
Thank you. With the 34th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Donovan Smith, tackle, Penn State.
And he's here in the green room. Maybe that's what Lovey was doing. He was getting on the phone. Called Donovan Smith, Penn State lineman.
And he was a surprise entry into this draft. He had another year of eligibility. Most people thought he was going to take advantage of it. He was a late ad for the Senior Bowl, Charles, where we got our first look at him. I thought he looked great on tape the games before the Senior Bowl, and then he dominated at the Senior Bowl. He's almost 6'6", 338 pounds. He's got long arms. And what I like is he was the left tackle at Penn State, but he is the prototype right tackle. He moves people, and the one knock on him was he love the game of football. Now, he's never gotten in trouble. He's never been arrested. It's never been any of that kind of stuff, and he persevered throughout the process. And Charles, I'm with you. He's a starting right tackle, and this guy can play.
Oh, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He moves people. Big, powerful man. And we got to see him, as you said, at the Senior Bowl, and I rolled into, I thought it was his dad. I think it was his uncle instead, and I understood immediately where the size came from in the family. And uncles informed me, as big as this young man is, he still can't take him yet. I don't know about that, because this guy I absolutely love because of versatility. You can even move him inside at guard, Coach, and be able to protect your quarterback that way.
Well, you're looking at him, and that thing Mike made a statement a while ago. Somebody said just how much he loves the game. A lot of times when you're a big guy, you don't get in trouble. You do everything everyone asks you to do. There's nothing wrong with that, because you look at a good character young man and a big guy that can move people, and you can play him inside or outside. But he's an athlete. He has an athletic ability to stand there and protect the quarterback, and has enough power where he can come off the ball and move people at the point of attack.
So we've seen a safety and a tackle go off the board 1-2 tonight after we saw quarterback go off the board. Heisman Trophy go off the board 1-2 last night. And the latest pick is the one that will now be charged with others to protect the #1 overall pick in this year's draft. Melissa Stark, take it away.
Yes, he will, Rich Eisen, and it was a long wait last night, but a short wait tonight. How did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sound to you?
Oh, they sound great, man. You know, definitely was a team, I went to go visit, and, it was definitely one of the best visits I had. I just felt like home, meeting with Coach Smith, and Coach Warhop, just being around the facilities, I felt, right at home. It's just a blessing.
Are you ready to protect the #1 overall pick?
Oh, yeah, baby. Me and Jameis. That's all I got to say. We going to the top. We got to. We going to the top.
Is that a daunting task at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm ready for it. I'm up for the challenge, make everybody great. We all going to push each other, and, we got to win a Super Bowl.
Congratulations to you. And a cold weather guy going to a warm weather spot.
Definitely.
Rich, back to you.
Thanks very much, Melissa. When we come back, the Raiders pick. It just came in. Willie Brown will be the one to announce it. Don't go anywhere. Back with the Raiders pick in Chicago with the Jaguars on the clock.
The 2015 NFL Draft is presented by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable 4G LTE network.
There is Draft Town across the street from us in Grant Park, which has been transformed into a football universe. 40-yard dash lines and all sorts of get-togethers for fans. Draft tables for the teams, draft tents for the fans. Again, I'm told the Bears and Packers tents are a little too close for comfort for some. That's what's going on across the street, and we will be broadcasting from there all day tomorrow as the draft moves outside for day 3, rounds 4 through 7. But we've got a lot of picks here tonight, including the latest pick in the draft, the Raiders pick. The Jaguars have made their pick, so we've got 2 picks to announce because the Jets are on the clock again. Amari Cooper went last night. Who do you think tonight, Michael?
They could be looking at an edge rusher like a Mario Edwards, Preston Smith, 2 potential type players. And we're going to find out whether they like a couple of picks from the last 2 years. Menelik Watson, a tackle. So what, they go offensive line, it'll tell you something about how they feel about the current guys.
To announce the Oakland Raiders selection, please welcome from Grambling State University, an undrafted free agent in 1963, Raiders Hall of Fame cornerback, Willie Brown.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me just say, last year I wish all the mothers happy Mother's Day, so that's coming up next week. So happy Mother's Day, guys, ladies. My mother, happy Mother's Day to her, and Mrs. Cal Davis, happy Mother's Day to you. Okay, let's get it on, Raider Nation, huh? With the 35th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Mario Edwards Jr., defensive end, Florida State. Go Raiders.
Mario Edwards was a polarizing conversation this year. 279 at the Combine. He weighed 310 in August. So Mario Edwards is a player that are you going to get him at 310 when he was sloppy or in shape at 272. He flashes outstanding potential, but if you pay him in the 2nd round, which guy are you getting? And I had a bunch of conversations about this guy throughout the last month. And here's the conversation. 310 in August, looked more like a 3 technique, a defensive tackle. He flashed big-time potential, heavy hands, big body. At his pro day, Charles, 272 pounds, was in the best shape of his life. So now you pay him, Charles, what are you getting? And the Oakland Raiders believe they're getting a dynamic edge guy that can kick down inside on sub packages.
Did you see him dance there in the national championship game with Nick Marshall out on the edge, the quarterback?
Yeah.
That's 279 and below.
Right.
And that's where he needs to be because Coach Strong, he wants no part of being inside as a 3 technique. I think that might be motivation enough for the weight to stay down.
Well, it's all about his speed and quickness. Is he going to be quick enough to handle that weight and carry that weight at 280 or whatever? And then at 300 pounds, is he going to be strong enough to stay inside and get off of blocks? And it just comes down to, you know, where does he fit the most comfortable with the size and with his speed and quickness?
I know what his comfort zone is. It's out on the edge.
No doubt.
He wants to play at 272 and play out there. That's where the motivation is.
The Raiders had 22 sacks last season, tied for the 2nd fewest in the NFL, and with their first 2 picks in this year's draft, each one of them had national championships in college, so they've chosen winners in their first 2 picks tonight. Now here come the Jaguars. Who do you think they might be looking at right now?
Well, DJ mentioned earlier potentially a running back. They could take a running back like a Jay Ajayi. Of course, you could go TJ Yeldon. They still need a slot wide receiver and an interior offensive lineman. So it just depends how they have them slotted.
By the way, Willie Brown, who is making that announcement for the Raiders, the most Pro Bowls of any of the athletes and former players who are here tonight. That includes Dick Butkus. So let's give Willie Brown a little bit of props right there. Here's the commissioner
To
again.
announce the Jacksonville Jaguars selection, please welcome from Florida State University, a 2nd round pick in the 2004 draft, running back Greg Jones.
With the 36th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select TJ Yeldon, running back, Alabama.
Well, there's the Honda Wardroom celebrating the latest selection on offense, TJ Yeldon. And obviously Eddie Lacy was the last one coming from the school. Did very well for Green Bay ever since he came off campus. And Jacksonville hoping that would be the same case for him, obviously.
Remember, they signed Toby Gerhart. He was not the answer. This guy was a fast riser. 3-down running back. The only question was long speed, but he played through a lot of injuries. I don't think he showed his true speed this year. And I know we've got a Hall of Famer on our outside set. LT, what do you think of this guy?
Well, Mike, I really like this pick. As you mentioned, T.J. Yeldon is a 3-down back. And when you look at what Jacksonville has right now, they don't have a guy like this. And I compare this guy to James Starks of the Green Bay Packers. Now, I know a lot of people out there may be thinking James Starks, but when you look at the skill set of James Starks, he is a lot like T.J. Yeldon. Very elusive in open field, breaks a lot of tackles, and oh yeah, the guy finishes every run with positive yards. Now, look at James Starks, very elusive, hard to tackle, and you see him there finish in the end zone. So I see a lot of comparisons between these two guys. I think Jacksonville has got a real solid running back in T.J. Yeldon.
And the last time they drafted a running back in either of the first 2 rounds was Maurice Jones-Drew back in 2006.
Not really.
And then, sorry, say that again?
Not really.
What do you mean? Oh,
Bernard Robinson.
I'm talking about the first 2 rounds.
Oh, okay.
First 2 rounds of the draft.
Gotcha.
So listen, you beat me to the punch here. I think they already have a running back, obviously, in Jacksonville. But thank you, Michael.
You're welcome, Rich.
I appreciate the green light to go maize and blue on you and the man with burnt orange here on the set. We're back with more in Chicago. The Jets pick next. Straight up at noon, 11 a.m. local time here in Chicago. We finish up the draft, day 3, rounds 4 through 7 of the NFL draft, right here, presented by Verizon on NFL Network. Last night, Leonard Williams was the apple of the Jets' big apple eye as he fell to them at 6. He was thrilled about it, saying that his first sack, he hopes it's Tom Brady. And of course, Jets fans like that moxie, except for the fact that they don't play Tom Brady until week 7. They'd like to see him sack before that. Be that as it may, he gets into the spirit of things, no doubt about it, as the Pepsi draft tweets, as you can see at the bottom of your screen throughout all of our coverage. The Jets pick is about to be announced with the help of an old school Jet. Who do you think the Jets might go here, Mike?
They can go in a lot of different directions. One place I'd like to see them get to eventually is a dynamic change of pace 3rd down back. They've got a couple of Chris Ivory, Bilal Powell, bigger, stronger backs. So Amir Abdullah, Duke Johnson, Tevin Coleman. Any one of those would be outstanding.
Here is the commissioner with somebody who knows about running the route.
To announce the New York Jets selection, please welcome from the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, a 7th round draft pick in 1966, running back Emerson Boozer.
With the 37th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Devin Smith, wide receiver, Ohio State.
And he is here.
I like the pick.
I like the pick, yeah.
Why so?
This guy tracks the football deep as well as any wide receiver in this draft. Legit 4.4 speed. It seemed like Charles, every catch he made went for a touchdown this year.
Yeah, and people started to think of him as a one-trick pony. So when we saw him at the Senior Bowl, he was intent on showing us he could run shorter routes. When I watched him on tape, and he can do everything in terms of running the route tree. My question for him, Mike, and Coach Strong was, yes, I know you can go deep and go up and track the football as well as anyone. Can you make someone miss on the short moves and take it? I didn't see enough of that at Ohio State. I think he's capable, but I thought many times he should have gotten away from that one-on-one coverage underneath, and I didn't see him do it enough.
I think when you have the athletic skill like a Smith and you can go and track the deep ball, and what he does a great job of finding it. But if he ever get a short route, I'm thinking he has he has enough ability to make a guy miss and go take it 50 or 60. You know, when I used to coach with Irvin, that's what he used to always talk about. Just find me a playmaker who I can get the ball in his hands and make somebody miss and go take it where I need to get it to.
And I'll tell you what is a rare ability when you're tracking a deep ball and to be able to adjust over his shoulder, and he's got the ability to do that, which is God-given.
And to that mix, you can also add Jason Morrow, who is a tight end they took in the second round last year. I mean, this is the most weapons that Geno Smith has had clearly in his now 3 seasons that he'll attempt to grasp the reins of the quarterback job to the liking, let's put it, of the Jets fan base. Daniel Jeremiah, chime in here.
Well, if you're looking for a comparison for Devin Smith, to me this is an easy one, and it's Mike Wallace. You guys talked about the variety of routes that Devin Smith didn't run in college. The same was the concern with Mike Wallace. You had no issues with the speed. He has what we call in scouting easy gas. He just rolls right by everybody with very little effort. To me, though, his pro day was huge for Devin Smith when you talk to people, because they put him through all the routes. He showed that ability to get out of his breaks and work back to the quarterback. So there's a lot of upside for the Jets with this pick in Devin Smith, guys.
Hey, DJ, when I grew up in West Philadelphia, there was a different definition for easy gas.
Nice,
was that after visiting Pat and Geno's?
Exactly.
All right.
It was the at first pick the Jets have used from a player from Ohio State since, I'm sorry, Jet fans, got to mention Vernon Golson was the last time that they chose
you had to go there, didn't you?
From the Ohio State University. Melissa Stark is out on the stage, and she is with Devin Smith, a national champion from the Ohio State University. The Redskins pick is in, as well as the Chicago Bears pick. That's 38 and 39. The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock at 40th overall. They were the first team up on the clock tonight, but the Giants made a trade with them to go out and get Landon Collins, who was the first one of the night before Donovan Smith went. And now the second Smith of the second round was just selected by the Jets. Melissa Stark, take it away.
Yes, Rich Eisen, what a year for this young man right here. You win the national championship, and now you are the newest member of the New York Jets. Does it get any better than this?
Oh, no, it's everything. It's everything to me. It's everything to my family and everybody back in my community in Akron, Ohio, and Massillon, Ohio. So I'm very, very happy.
You spent a long time trying to prove that you are not one-dimensional. What do you want to prove or show in this league?
Just to show that I'm not one-dimensional. I think I've done that throughout this process and leading up to this point. So I'm just looking to continue forward.
You ready to be catching passes from Geno Smith?
Absolutely.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Rich?
Thanks very much, Melissa Stark. When we go to break, we show you the Chicago fans that are eagerly awaiting the latest member of the Chicago Bears. We'll hear the Washington pick, then the Bears pick, and the Titans pick when we come back. NFL.com Fantasy Football is back and better than ever. Sign up now, never too early, at NFL.com/fantasy. As you can see by the LED lead out on the screen up there on the stage, Washington, the latest pick from Washington is in. They made the first day through the first curveball of the draft last night, going with the tackle from Iowa and Brandon Scherf instead of maybe Leonard Williams. So here comes the commissioner of the National Football League with the latest Washington pick.
To announce the Washington Redskins selection, please welcome from the University of Cincinnati, a 7th round pick in the 1965 draft, defensive back Brig Owens.
With the 38th pick in 2015 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Preston Smith, linebacker, Mississippi State.
Preston Smith, defensive end.
He does it again. Unbelievable.
2014 first team All-SEC.
Pressure going to get hit and sacked. Big Preston Smith, who just kept coming.
Preston Smith played defensive end at Mississippi State at 6'5", 271. You heard him introduced as a linebacker. That's because they're a base 3-4 team. I loved his production. This kid brings it every week. He could play the 5 technique, but I believe what's going to happen in Washington, they lost Brian Arakpo.
There's a Skype party. Neat stuff. Go.
We got to see him out in Los Angeles last week before the draft. Terrific young man, and to the point that Mike was making, 5 technique in college. I think where you're going, Mike, is at Washington. We thought might go edge rusher last night at pick number 5. Didn't do that. Ryan Kerrigan needs a running mate. Sees someone opposite. Brian Arakpo no longer there.
Correct.
Preston Smith now at 271. Stand him up. It's Ryan Kerrigan at Purdue. It's a down 5 technique defensive end that they converted. I think they're seeing the same thing with Preston Smith.
Well, you're always looking for a guy that's versatile, and you think about Preston. I can remember him coming out of high school because I recruited him. He was out of Stevenson High School in Georgia, and I always felt like he would be a stand-up guy that can jump into coverage and they can add a rush when you need him to. And that's really what he can do because he can bring so much to the table.
Only the second pick Washington's ever made out of Mississippi State. The other one, Fred Smoot. So maybe we can have Smith smack. So that's 3 Smiths so far. We're just trying to keep up with the Smiths. Ah, yes, the Ditka heads and all the jerseys are out. The Chicago Bears last night, they drafted a guy named Kevin White. Who's going to be this pick now? It's time now for Dick Butkus to come on out here to the cheers of the crowd.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a defensive player. Jordan Phillips from Oklahoma would make sense.
Oh, yes. Big guy in the middle.
Yeah. I don't think he needs an introduction.
To announce the Chicago Bears selection, please welcome from the University of Illinois, the 3rd overall pick in the 1965 draft by the Bears, 1979 Hall of Fame inductee, linebacker Dick Butkus.
Okay. With the 39th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select, and I like this, Eddie Goldman, nose tackle, Florida State.
Look at all the fans are standing, not a single person sitting in this auditorium with Dick Butkus coming out here. Let's meet him.
Eddie Goldman, defensive tackle.
He's going to be snagged. He's dropped big time by Eddie Goldman.
2014 first team All-ACC.
A short loss, Eddie Goldman, one of the heroes.
Question on Eddie Goldman at 6'4", 336. Is he a 2-down run stuffer or a 3-down player in the NFL? A lot of people thought he would go in the first round. I think he's stout at the point of attack. He's very difficult to move. The question is, can he play in your sub packages? And that's why I think he slipped to the 2nd round. Now, when you're talking about being stout, watch the leverage he gets on the left guard. Underneath him, bench press him, vision on the football, disengage, tackle. This time against the center. Again, look at that inside arm. Jack Andy Gallick from Boston College. Disengage, find the football. How is he against double team? Nice job splitting it. Look at the eyes on the football. That's a big time play right there. And finally, when he stays low, he can collapse the pocket. Gets under, Notre Dame walks him right back into a quarterback's lap, and that's what every quarterback in the league hates, immediate interior pressure.
Big, thick, stout guy, all the things we talked about. My comparison for him is Red Bryant, formerly the Seattle Seahawks, Jacksonville Jaguars. When you're talking about a guy who can play at the point of attack, a guy you don't move very well, that's Eddie Goldman. Well, that's what Red Bryant did that extremely well when he was playing. Look how he just holds up, stuffs things, and then comes off and ends up making the play. Plus, Red had that versatility that when Seattle decided they wanted to move him outside to a 5 technique in their defense, he was able to do that. That's maybe where people are wondering about Eddie Goldman. What's he going to be able to do for them 3rd down?
Butkus just gave him the stamp of approval. It's defense. The Bears' defense has definitely fallen on hard times. The Carolina Panthers have just traded up from 57 to 42, the biggest leap we've seen yet. We'll give you the trade details when we come back. Follow every pick and every move made in the 2015 NFL Draft by checking out the Draft Tracker presented by Lexus only on NFL.com. And if you did that right now, you'll see that the Rams and Carolina Panthers swap spots. The Carolina Panthers trading up from 57 all the way to 41, giving up their 3rd round selection, 89th overall, 6th round selection, 201st overall. So the Rams just added another Friday night pick to their kitty, and now the kitty from Carolina will make their pick shortly after we hear who the Titans selected after trading down from 33 to 40. Mike Mayock, your thoughts? Well, here comes the commissioner. Pardon me. And you're trumped by another Michael right now, who he's with. Here's the commissioner.
To announce the Tennessee Titans selection, please welcome from Eastern Washington University, a 2nd round draft pick in 2005, offensive tackle Michael Roos.
With the 40th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Dorial Green Beckham, wide receiver, Missouri.
There we go. 6'5", 237 pounds. He sat out last year after transferring from Missouri to Oklahoma. Significant off-the-field issues, but he's a freakish height, weight, speed guy. The catch radius is off the chart. Route running, he doesn't really even need them. The guy tilts the field without knowing how to run a route. Look at him here on the bubble screen. 6'5", 237, ball in his hand.
Oh, my.
Look at the cutback. Against press coverage. You want to press it? Come back, use the big body. He's going to learn to come back even more using that big body. And again, just catches a little slant. And now, look at him run through people. I mean, he looks like a young Randy Moss. Double move over the top. Now watch him go up and extend for the football. You either wake up in the morning with that kind of talent or you don't.
So you add him to this offensive puzzle that they're putting together with Ken Wisenhunt, and they got a guy with 0 flags and one with as many flags to fill up an amusement park in their first 2 picks of the draft. What do you think, Coach Strong?
Well, you look at him, he has size, and then you watch just a little tape right there. Does a great job with his body where he can body position defensive backs. And then when he does catch the ball, he has enough speed where he can break away. But he's a big talent, and it's just going to be interesting to see just how he fit into that system and does everything they ask him to do.
So when we come back, we find out who Carolina traded up 16 spots that they liked so much. They're celebrating the pick, as we can see on the Carolina Honda War Room cam. And then the Atlanta Falcons chose their 2nd pick in this draft, 42nd overall. The Browns are back on the clock. When we come back, we'll reveal as many picks as we can here in Chicago. Just some of the smiles and emotions that we've seen here in Chicago. The first draft this town has hosted since 1964 season, which was actually held in December of 1963. And then in the 65 draft is when the Bears chose Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers, by the way, back-to-back. 3 and 4 overall, starting a 50-year stretch of the draft being held in New York City until right here, right now. We've reached the 41st selection of this year's draft. And it's being made by Carolina, which traded up from 57 for who do you think, Mike Mayock?
Charles and I were just having the conversation. When you move this far up, it typically means a position group is getting skinny. There's only 1 or 2 good players left, and you know they won't get to you. Carolina needs a tackle. The 2 tackles on the board are TJ Clemmings and Jake Fisher. I think Clemmings has some medical. That's why he's sliding. Jake Fisher should be the pick. Remember, they've got Michael Orr and Jonathan Martin, who they signed in free agency, both talented yet underachieving.
And Michael Orr plays better on the right side. They want to get a left tackle. And to me, Jake Fisher fits the bill much better in this situation. he reminds me much more of Jordan Gross, who held down that left tackle spot for a decade for Carolina. I think Jake Fisher's the target.
And for Rams fans tuning in, you know, got about probably another half an hour, at least 45 minutes until they get to go. They're down all the way at 57, but they did get a second, third-round choice, so they had only 2 night 2 picks coming in. They now have 3.
Wow.
And the Carolina Panthers have made their selection. The Falcons have made their selection right behind them. The Browns just made their selection. The Saints are on the clock, so there's a few picks backed up. Here comes the commissioner now with the results of the trade from Carolina and who they did it for.
The St. Louis Rams have traded the 41st pick to the Carolina Panthers. To announce the Carolina Panthers selection, please welcome from the University of Notre Dame, selected in the second round of the 1990 draft, defensive back Pat Terrell.
With the 41st pick of the 2015 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Devin Funchess, wide receiver, University of Michigan.
Throws deep. Devin Funchess, he bobbles it, but then comes up with it.
Devin Funchess, wide receiver, 2-time second team All-Big Ten.
He's got Devin Funchess, touchdown, Michigan.
Well, there's Devin Funchess at home in Farmington Hills, Michigan, and as if Kelvin Benjamin wasn't tall enough of a target for Cam Newton, here comes a very large Wolverine heading his way. That's who they traded up to go get, Mike.
And I don't know whether they plan to play him inside or outside, and it really doesn't matter because the theory is the same. He's a matchup issue. He's a matchup nightmare. He's got great size, similar to Kelvin Benjamin, who will be his teammate. And one of the things that Cam Newton does extremely well is back shoulder throws. Devin Funchess, 6'4", 232. Played tight end, moved as wide receiver as a senior. Tremendous catching radius, and of course, Charles, matchup issues no matter what you do with him.
And when we saw him at the combine, when he ran slow, we thought, ooh, maybe tight end. My comparison for him is Jimmy Graham. And Jimmy Graham has said, pay me as a wide receiver because that's how I was used in New Orleans. I think Devin Funchess has very similar capabilities and characteristics. You see the height, you see the size, you see the ability to play over the top and use their body and frame to keep people away from the football, and that allows that catch radius to come out and really be evident.
So Devin Funchess just got drafted by the Carolina Panthers, who again moved up from 57 to 41 to go get him. The Atlanta Falcons pick is about to be in. The Texans moved up from 51 to 43, making a trade with the Browns. We will give you the particulars on that trade as soon as we find them out. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's 7 o'clock right here in Chicago inside the beautiful 126-year-old Auditorium Theater at Roosevelt University. It all started with the first trade of the night as the Giants moved up from 40 to go get Landon Collins, a safety out of Alabama. TJ Yeldon is the third running back taken in this draft. The Jaguars took the Alabama running back. Then a run of Smiths, Preston Smith after Devin Smith. Dorial Green Beckham, a guy with a lot of off-the-field issues, is now the newest target with a guy who has 0 off-the-field issues. Marcus Mariota, who just arrived in Nashville from Honolulu today. Devin Funchess, the latest member of the National Football League, wide receiver out of Michigan. The Falcons pick, again, will about to be announced. The Texans just traded up, and now the Saints are on the clock. Mike Mayock, who do you think the Atlanta Falcons might be looking at right now?
You know, when you try to match up team needs with best available, you look down the board, and Charles, I see Jalen Collins still there with a first-round grade sitting there in the second round. I see TJ Clemmings, who again would fit, I believe, what Atlanta's trying to do with his zone scheme. However, I think the medical's causing him to slide. And then on top of that, Coach Shanahan needs a running back. So at some point, I think we'll see them address corner, running back, edge.
Ian Rappaport joining us from outside in Draft Town with some of the latest he's found out. Ian?
Rich, two things to watch for coming up. First of all, I'm told the Philadelphia Eagles have been very aggressive talking with the Minnesota Vikings about moving up and taking their pick. That is one thing. The other thing is the Saints are coming up on the clock. There's been a lot of talk that they may take a quarterback, potentially Drew Brees' replacement. Maybe this is Bryce Petty from Baylor, maybe it's Sean Mannion, someone that could sit for 2 years and then have him take over for Brees. Watch for that.
Well, that pick is in. We need to hear Atlanta's first, and then the Texans. The trade details are in. Houston giving up their second-round pick. They swapped it with Cleveland, a 4, a 6 to go up from 51 to 43. They also got a 7 back from Cleveland. The commissioner, however, is going to be out on the stage right now with the Atlanta Falcons pick at 42 before we hear the Texans and then the Saints, who Ian Rappaport said might be choosing the quarterback shortly.
To announce the Atlanta Falcons selection, please welcome from LSU, a 7th-round pick in the 1999 draft by the Falcons, center Todd McClure.
With the 42nd pick of the 2015 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Jalen Collins, defensive back, LSU. Go Tigers.
Here we go, let's go, yeah. I came up through these streets, now who's running the show? Me.
Jalen Collins, cornerback.
Intercepted. Jalen Collins picked it off.
17 career pass breakups.
This is a gifted kid, almost 6'2", 203 pounds, long arms. Press corner from LSU that has as much talent as any corner in this draft. He's long. He only had 10 career starts, which reminds me of Antonio Cromartie for a couple of reasons. Cromartie didn't play as a senior because of an ACL, plus the length and the speed. Very comfortable in press. Get his eyes back on the quarterback. Track the football now. Sees that crossing route coming from the other side, didn't get caught up with just one offensive player. Again, look at him get underneath, hip to hip, find the football, knocks it away. He'll tackle, 200-plus pounds. You don't see many corners stick their helmets in there the way he just did. And speed, there are very few people that can run down Melvin Gordon, folks. And he's one of them. Now, the downside here is that he only started 10 games, including missing 3 or 4 different games this year in college. So coaches and scouts wanted to know why he wasn't starting. But if you're talking about talent and motivation, that's what this kid's going to need to have with the motivation going forward.
And part of the reason he wasn't starting all the time was they have some corners there that we're going to be talking about in the future.
You're right.
That was part of it. Did struggle at times, though, with a few busts in assignments. You turn on that Alabama tape, you'll see a few things that happened there, and he had a really, really tough time with Amari Cooper.
So the Atlanta Falcons take a Collins out of LSU. It's not Lyle. He's still on the board. It's Jalen. Here are, again, the details of the Texans-Browns trade. The Texans moving up from 51 to 43. They also got a 7th in the trade that gives Cleveland a 4th and a 6th from Houston. Let's now hear why the Texans did this. Let's go to the stage now. The commissioner bringing out the latest member from the green room to help announce
the
a pick.
Cleveland Browns have traded the 43rd pick to the Houston Texans. To announce the Houston Texans selection, please welcome from Mississippi State University, a 2nd-round pick in the 1998 draft, defensive back Eric Brown.
With the 43rd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, we, the Houston Texans, select Benardrick McKinney, linebacker, Mississippi State.
Can't get away on his tackle. Benardrick McKinney, linebacker, 2014 first team All-SEC.
Benardrick McKinney comes right up the middle and wraps him up.
6'4", 246 pounds. This is the prototype inside linebacker. We're not getting as many of those guys coming out of the college game anymore. He's an old school guy, downhill thumper with size. The question was, could he play on sub packages as a 3-down linebacker? He's got a little stiffness to him, but he also is lined up on the edge. Now here you watch him take on the big offensive lineman. Disengage, find the football. Downhill thumper. Attacks downhill versus the run. Good hit on the goal line situation. They used him a lot to blitz. Line him up in the A-gap, hesitation, and go. And finally, they lined him up outside on the edge, folks. He's explosive in a straight line area. This is Cedric Aboye, the first-round pick that he beats around the side. So there's some versatility because you line him up outside. But, Coach, you know what it is, that big downhill thumper. We're not getting as many of them out of the college game anymore.
No, what's happening, you're right, because everyone is spreading you out. So now you're looking for that situational player, and so now you look for a smaller guy to match up with the wide receivers. But when you talk about just being good, you have to be good down the middle of your defense.
Yep.
And that's what you're looking for with his size, a big guy in the middle that control it. Then you can put his hand down and he can go rush the passer.
Well, we just saw the Honda War Room cam of the Minnesota Vikings, who just made their selection. There was no trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. So Chip Kelly might be knocking on doors trying to make some trades, but it hasn't happened just yet. The Saints pick when we return to Chicago. Another beautiful day turning to night here on the shores of Lake Michigan.
We are back in Draft Town, USA, with thousands of our closest friends here across the street from the auditorium at Roosevelt University. The Saints pick is in. The Vikings pick is in. First of all, the Saints, Daniel, they replacing somebody on that defense, or maybe Jimmy Graham's replacement?
Yeah, Jimmy Graham is gone. We haven't had a tight end go yet, so they have their pick of the litter. Max Williams from Minnesota, I feel like is the top tight end in this draft class. You also keep an eye on edge rusher. We thought they might do that in the first round. They chose to wait. Could be an option here as well.
Remember, they had a pair of first-round picks. They went with Andres Pete last night with the 13th overall selection. Then they went with the linebacker out of Clemson, Stephon Anthony, with the 31st selection.
To announce the New Orleans Saints selection, please welcome from the University of Georgia, a second-round draft pick in 2003 by the Saints, offensive tackle John Stinchcomb.
With the 44th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Ha'oli Kikaha, linebacker, Washington.
Yeah, the Washington football team last year, they had a few players on defense, guys, and Ha'oli Kikaha did not get the attention of a Danny Shelton or Marcus Peters, but he did lead the nation in sacks, and this is a very fun player to watch on tape. You want to see somebody that uses their hands and can get to the quarterback in a variety of ways, you pop on the tape right here and you watch Kikaha. The effort is outstanding. He's a technician. Against the run, there's a little bit of inconsistency there. There are times where he will get pushed off the ball, but you're drafting him to do this right here, knock the hands off of tackles and get to quarterbacks and finish. He did it each and every game when you pop on the tape, guys. This is a player's had a couple ACLs. That probably caused him to slide a little bit. He's not a great tester. You're not drafting him for what he's going to do in shorts. You're drafting him for what you see right here on the game tape. He's going to get after quarterbacks. The Saints got a nice pass rusher here.
32 combined sacks the last 2 years up there at the University of Washington, and he is the fourth different defensive player taken from that program in the first round and a half of the NFL draft. All right, Coach Billick, now the Minnesota Vikings, as you can check in on their war room, now they're selecting in the second round. They went with a cornerback, Trey Wayans, the top corner on the board last night at 11. Where are they headed?
Well, they need Teddy Bridgewater to continue to prove. We've already talked about the young quarterbacks, Winston and Mariota. They need skilled people to go to build around it. Definitely in Tennessee. Minnesota, I think the same way. They've drafted receivers. Cordero Patterson really hasn't emerged the way we thought he would when he was drafted. I think they need some skill on that outside to continue to, back up their investment in Teddy Bridgewater.
How about a big possession receiver like Jalen Strong? A guy that can really go up and get the football, particularly in the red zone. That could be an area that they address right now.
We thought they might go Devontae Parker in the first round. Jalen Strong, to me, is a poor man's version of Devontae Parker. Big when you get in the red zone.
We hear about the wrist injury. How much of a concern is that for teams right now as he continues to slide a little bit?
I don't think it's as much the wrist. I think it's a concern he doesn't play to that time speed he put out there.
Real quickly, what do you think of Bridgewater in year one?
He was okay, which for first, for a draft choice, that's okay. The game didn't look too big for him, and by the end of the season, he looked pretty good.
Do they add on offense with their second-round pick, or does Mike Zimmer have another toy to play with? Let's find out as we head inside the auditorium.
To announce the Minnesota Vikings selection, please welcome from the University of Maryland, a second-round draft pick in 2003 by the Vikings, linebacker E.J. Henderson.
With the 45th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Eric Kendricks, linebacker, UCLA.
Eric Kendricks, linebacker, 2014 Butkus and Lott Impact Award winner.
Had a little bit of a run on linebackers now, DJ.
And I think we can say with certainty now the Minnesota Vikings, they like linebackers from UCLA. Yeah. They hit it big with Anthony Barr. Now they go back and get his teammate in Eric Kendricks. And you see right here the notes on it. The tape is outstanding because the instincts are outstanding. He has the ability to be able to sort through the trash, get to the quarterback as a blitzer. He can cover. He is a three-down linebacker. He's going to fit nicely with his old college teammate, Anthony Barr.
All right, well, the San Francisco 49ers have just made the pick, and so that means that the Miami Dolphins are up on the clock. So we got a little bit of business to take care of, so don't go anywhere as the second round of the NFL Draft continues on this Friday night from Draft Town, USA and Buckingham Fountain. We're back after this.
The 2015 NFL Draft is brought to you by the Honda Dream Garage Sales Event, now at your Honda dealer, and by Golden Corral, best buffet in the USA.
Welcome back. These are the new black jerseys for the San Francisco 49ers. Des Bryant gave it his Twitter stamp of approval. Hashtag swag, although that means that's stuff we all get. I have not gotten one of these. So maybe I have the wrong terminology of what swag is. There's Jim Tom Sula at the top of the screen in the Honda War Room. Trent Baalke taking notes.
So, Rich, stupid, sick means good?
I guess it does.
Is that the deal?
Yes, stupid, sick does, in fact, mean
right on target, my man.
So a lot is going on right now. The 49ers have made a pick. The Philadelphia Eagles traded up from 52 to 47 and also got a 6th-round choice from Miami. And in exchange, the Philadelphia Eagles gave Miami both of their 5th-round picks, meaning the Dolphins will be on the clock 145, 149, 150, and 156 overall. So in that stretch of the 5th round, Dolphins fans, stick around the television set. You're going to see a lot of your drafts go down in the 5th round this year. And again, the Eagles get a 6th-round pick in this trade and get to move up 5 spots at 47 overall. And obviously, everybody's wondering what Chip Kelly's thinking. We'll see what it is. The 49ers, however, are first up for their pick to be revealed, and a Hall of Famer is going to help do that. Mike, who do you think the 49ers might be?
I would think
choosing
either
here?
inside linebacker, because let's face it, Patrick Willis and Chris Borland both retired in the offseason. So maybe a Denzel Perryman would make a lot of sense here. If not, perhaps wide receiver. We've already talked Jalen Strong. Sammy Coates is out there, Tyler Lockett.
Meanwhile, the San Diego Chargers have just made their pick at 48th overall. The Chiefs are back on the clock with 5 minutes to go. Let's go to the stage right now. The commissioner is with a very, very bad man who's going into camp this summer.
To announce the San Francisco 49ers selection, please welcome from James Madison University, a 4th-round draft pick in 1986 by the San Francisco 49ers, defensive end and newest member of the Hall of Fame, Charles Haley.
With the 46th pick in the 2015 draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jaworski Tartt, defensive back, Samford.
Wow, they went safety with Jaworski Tartt from Samford. Showed up at the Senior Bowl with an attitude. 6'1.5", 221 pounds. He's a big body thumper. I think he's more athletic than people give him credit for, but the questions are, what is his coverage skill set? But the one thing I do know about this young man is when he arrives, Charles Davis, he's in a bad humor.
Yeah, we've got a big fight coming up on Saturday night, and Jaquaski Tart would love to go into the ring and thump with anyone that's there. This is what we see. Part of what we saw last year was a guy operating injured. Had a bad ankle that he played on most of the year. You want to have some fun? Punch up his film. 2013 at Arkansas. Those hits you saw in the highlights, a whole bunch of thumping there. He also played well this year, I thought, against TCU at TCU. This is a big-time athlete that we got to see operate at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. And Coach Strong, you'd love to have this missile going back and forth in your defense.
Well, you love him because he's an in-the-box safety, and he can come down, and then also he has enough range where you can put him in the middle of the field. But it's always you're looking for that special player, and what's really great about him is that you don't have to pull him out in the sub package. He can still play on the hash for you and have enough depth to him, enough range where he can go cover deep.
And what I like about this, Mike, is you don't have to say Schwenke as much now. You can say Jaquaski.
There you go.
You like those names.
Very well done. So the Eagles, again, moving up from 52 to 47. Chip Kelly striking a trade here. What do you think, Michael?
I think it has to be a defensive back. Whoever the highest rated corner or safety on their board. Eric Rowe from Utah makes sense. Quentin Rollins makes a lot of sense. Duran Grant, whoever their highest rated corner or safety is.
So let's go to the podium right now. The commissioner will be dwarfed by this next individual. And the commissioner's about 6 feet himself. Let's go to the podium.
The Miami Dolphins have traded the 47th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. To announce the Philadelphia Eagles selection, please welcome from the University of Michigan, selected in the 4th round in the 1996 draft, offensive tackle and Congressman John Runyon.
With the 47th pick of the 2015 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Eric Rowe, defensive back, Utah.
One of my favorite players in the draft, almost 6'1", 205. Eric Rowe played free safety for 3 years before kicking over to corner this year. He's got length and cover skills. He's a top 50 pick all day long. And Charles, we both felt like this was a guy that could line up outside as a matchup guy against some of those big wide receivers in today's NFL, but also kick inside on the tight ends like Gronkowski.
And that's what he did at Utah last year. They used him as a specialty player, that chess piece that can move all over the board. Where they needed him on whatever down, that's where he went. To me, this is a pick, Coach Strong, to deal with their division. You got to deal with Des Bryant in Dallas. You got to deal with Odell Beckham in New York. This is why they went and got him.
Well, you look at corners now, you're always looking for size. And even us on the college level, you're looking for a guy 6 foot or taller. And that way you can always match up where you can match up outside and inside. Because what a lot of people are doing now, and you look at a lot of offenses, they're putting their best receiver inside. And so they're looking for a matchup problem. So you love to take a corner, and you look at it, Eric has enough ability where he can go play the nickel position, and he can go cover the inside. And then if you need to bounce him outside on just base down play, he can go outside and play it.
And that's another Pac-12 player for Chip Kelly, who has now made 17 draft choices or been part of it since coming off the campus of the University of Oregon. 9 of the 17, more than half, have come from the Pac-12. They're in Philadelphia.
Comfort level.
Randy Gregory is still sitting there, out there. Ian Rappaport, help me out with this one.
Well, Rich, it has never been a question of talent for Randy Gregory. General managers view him in the top 10 in that category. We know he admitted to a failed drug test at the Combine, but there are some questions just talking to executives about his mental readiness for the NFL. So he went on about 15 visits to try to show teams that he was ready, but they were a disaster. He was about 90 minutes late, I'm told, to his Saints meeting, completely missed his Raiders meeting, did not give teams any confidence that if they drafted him high, that he would show up ready to play. Big question marks there.
Wow.
And just to confirm what Ian said, I heard the same things, that not showing up, being late. And the sad thing is, by all accounts, he's a really nice kid with a high level of intelligence.
He presents well. He did a great interview with our Kimberly Jones a few weeks ago where she asked him about failed drug tests and other issues at Nebraska. Presented very, very well. But the facade and what's behind it is not matching up. That's why he's still sitting there and no one's taking him.
I mean, it boggles the mind that someone would be late or blow off a job interview. I mean, just forget about we're talking football.
Correct.
Yeah. Just in daily life, anybody who's sitting at home watching this broadcast has got to be scratching their head out.
And if we're being real about it, with what he's had in his background, when a guy is late and doesn't show up at all,
right,
that brings all that right back into question about why he would be late and why he would be missing it totally.
And let's reinforce again, Charles, that he did test positive at the scouting combine, which is the biggest red flag you can have, right?
You know the date, right? They send you a thing, right, Coach Strong, that says this is the date you're coming.
Well, perception's everything. and it's like you said, interviewing for a job. Would you go, you got a job and you're going to show up late for the job interview?
Or miss it totally?
Just say don't even come? You don't want it.
Yeah, and that's what's scary there, because that may mean bigger things going on in this young man's life that he needs help with.
Melissa Stark, take it away.
Okay, Rich, I am with Randy Gregory, who is the last player remaining in the green room.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on in your mind?
Haven't been picked yet. That's it. I haven't found the right fit, right team, but fully expect that to happen. I'm being patient. I think God's working in a different way right now. He's going to put me with the right team, right organization, and like I said, just being patient with it.
I know you said you didn't sleep at all last night. How disappointing has this been to this point for you?
Well, it's been real disappointing. Obviously I want to get picked high. I think I deserve to get picked high, despite what's happened. But, it is what it is. I said that yesterday, as simple as I could put it. I'm just going to take it in stride and, like I said, wait for the team to pick me.
You still think you're the best defensive player in this draft?
I know I am. I'm going to prove it on the field.
Are they saving the best for last? Is that what's going on here?
That's what I like to think about. I try to be optimistic about it, try to be positive, and like I said, somebody's going to take me. It doesn't matter when, somebody's going to take me. So, I'll be fine either way.
All right, Rich, he's got a smile on his face.
All right, thanks very much, Melissa. The San Diego Chargers pick is about to be announced, then the Chiefs. Then there's going to be a very special moment here when Jim Kelly presents the Buffalo Bills pick. But right now, let's go to the podium for the latest lightning bolt to be added to the National Football League.
To announce the San Diego Chargers selection, please welcome from the University of Tennessee, the 15th overall selection in the 1988 draft by the Chargers, wide receiver Anthony Miller.
With the 48th pick in the 2015 draft, the San Diego Chargers select Denzel Perryman, linebacker, Miami.
Oh, he is drilled.
Denzel Perryman, linebacker.
He was crushed. Denzel making his presence felt.
He was walloped. Two-time first-team All-ACC.
You can say he's too small, too short, too slow. All I know is he's a football player. I watch him, I see Vilma, I see Beeson, I see all those great inside backers at Miami. He's a thumper. Wonderful intangibles. The only question is, can he stay on the field in space in their sub packages? Take a look at him. Teams have looked at him both as an inside linebacker and a 4-3 will. When that lead back let him go, you knew it was all over. And again, watch the speed. I don't care what he times. He's got speed on the field. And he makes plays sideline to sideline. Beats the block of the guard, reads the zone scheme play, and finishes. Denzel Perryman is a thumper, and he will be an asset. You love those kind of players, Rich.
Don't go anywhere. When we are back, we will have the Chiefs pick, the Bills pick, the Browns pick, the Dolphins are on the clock. We're having a fun night here in Chicago. Don't you dare move.
Turn the music out.
Welcome back. Who are the best players in the NFL for 2015? It's the poll that ranks players by the players themselves. Find out who makes the top 100 players of 2015, presented by Schick Extreme 3 Ultimate. Premiering Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Night falling here in Chicago, meaning Buckingham Fountain will start lighting up the colors of the teams that are on the clock. It was one of the neat features that's going on outside, where we are headed for the entire rest of the draft tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern Time, 11 a.m. local time right here in Chicago. But we have a full night here as we are working our way through the second round, the first round tonight of 2 rounds. The Chiefs, we're waiting to hear their pick at 49th overall. Then the Bills, Browns, and the Dolphins are choosing 52nd overall. What do you think about the Chiefs, who went Marcus Peters last night?
I thought they were going to go Cameron Irving in the first round. And that's really the only hole in their line right now is center. The highest rated center I have on my board is Mitch Morse, a converted tackle from the University of Missouri. If they don't go that way, the wide receiver position could be, even though they signed Jeremy Maclin, Jalen Strong still out there, that'd be a logical pick.
Tyler Lockett, a local guy there who can fly and help you in special teams.
Yep.
That could be a nice little addition for them.
Yeah, Kansas State.
And your guy, Eric Stonestreet,
yeah,
would be very happy.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett sitting out there. Jalen Strong, as you said, and again, it bears repeating because it's so rare. The Chiefs went the entire 2014 season without a single touchdown reception by a wide receiver, but we'll see if that's where they go right now.
To announce the Kansas City Chiefs selection, please welcome from Baylor University, the 10th overall selection in the 1977 draft by the Chiefs, defensive back Gary Green.
With the 49th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select, right up the road, Mitch Morse, center from Missouri.
There you go, Mike.
Announced as a center, he was a tackle at Missouri, 6'5", 305. Why do you kick him inside? Well, he's got short arms, he's really smart, and I think he's going to be a 10-year starter. About 2 months ago, he was a 5th or 6th round pick, and the more the offensive line coaches got involved, the higher he got pushed. He's smart, he's tough, and he's going to find a home at center, and Andy Reid loves his interior offensive lineman. Daniel Jeremiah, what do you think of this pick?
Because you've got yourself a lineman that can play all 5 spots, which allows you to get your best 5 guys on the field. Andy Reid's big on that. You got the athleticism to hold up in pass protection as well. I know Andy Reid, I know the Chiefs are running the ball more these days, but you know it's in Andy Reid's blood to want to throw the football, and Mitch Morse is an excellent pass protector.
I think that when you take this guy, the thing that strikes me is the movement. You saw him at tackle, moving, pulling, getting out to the second level. That bodes well for him moving inside at the center position and holding down the pivot. That mobility is big time.
You know what I like, Coach? I like when offensive line coaches all agree that a guy's a good football player. And because when you're smart and tough, what does that tell you to an offensive line coach?
And you're very dependable. Smart, tough, and dependable is what you're looking for. And then you look at him, he has great feet, and a guy that has great leverage. So you're looking at smart, tough, dependable football players, and that's what you get.
Yep. Drafting an offensive line the Chiefs have in the first 3 rounds in 5 of the last 6 years. Rodney Hudson went and broke the bank by leaving via free agency to Oakland. And here is the moment we were talking about with Jim Kelly.
There you go.
Fans standing in here and outside. And same with us.
To announce the Buffalo Bills selection, please welcome from the University of Miami, selected by the Bills as the 14th overall pick in the 1983 draft, 2002 Hall of Fame inductee, quarterback Jim Kelly.
Thank you. If I could just take a second and thank everybody all over the world for, especially my NFL family, for all your prayers this last year. Last year at this time I was in the hospital not knowing if I'd be here today. But because of all the prayers and the well wishes and the love I got from my NFL family, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. All right, here we go. With the 50th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, we, the Buffalo Bills, select Ronald Darby, defensive back, Florida State. Thank you, guys.
So in the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl year, the 50th pick, the golden pick in a way of this draft, with a golden moment, Jim Kelly with his family looking on, announcing the first pick of the draft for the Bills. Remember, they gave up their first-round choice in the Sammy Watkins trades last year, and it's a Florida State Seminole, the 5th of the draft. That's most by any school. What do you think about this pick, Mike?
Now, they're already pretty stacked at corner, and what Ronald Darby brings is a quick-footed, feisty corner. He can play outside or inside, and he will tackle. The only issue, Charles, I had with him is I thought he struggled finding the ball with his back to the quarterback. Now, he's almost 5'11", 193. He was paired with P.J. Williams. Twitchy feet, long speed. He competes. I just thought he struggled to find the football with his back to the quarterback. Now, they already have Leotis McKeldin and Stephon Gilmore. Good football player, also has return skills.
I think when you're talking about the ability to find the football, that's one of the things that hurts defensive backs all over the place. That's the reason the Devin Smiths of the world, the Jalen Strongs of the world make the plays that they make. Kelvin Benjamin, that was a big reason he was such a high pick last year. My quarrel with Darby was been consistency. There's times when I punch on the tape and go, boy, he could do it. Yep. And other times I'm wondering, where did he go? Missing plays. But I think he's an excellent prospect.
Let's go back to the podium right now. I haven't heard this name in a while. Hanford Dixon. He's with the commissioner.
To announce the Cleveland Browns selection, please welcome from the University of Southern Mississippi, the 22nd overall pick of the 1981 draft by the Cleveland Browns, defensive back Hanford Dixon.
With the 51st pick in the 2015 draft, the Cleveland Browns select Nate Orchard, linebacker, Utah.
Another one of my favorite players in this draft. Nate Orchard, I don't think he gets enough respect. 6'3", 250 pounds. I think the 3-4 teams like him better than the 4-3 teams. Heavy production. Better player than an athlete. And if you talk to all the offensive line coaches in the Pac-12, who the toughest guy to block, it was Nate Orchard. 3.5 sacks against Stanford. He's not, Charles, he's not twitchy, but he's special.
You always talk about heavy hands and guys who can make plays at the point of attack. Think about what he brings to Cleveland now, dealing with what you have to deal with in the AFC North. You got to deal with Le'Veon Bell running the football at you, being able to get that done. That's how you're going to get this team better. Deal with Baltimore, running the football. He also has done that. My comparison to him is Ryan Kerrigan because of the effort. When you look at what Nate Orchard does, you mentioned not twitchy. but he always gets there. Not twitchy doesn't mean he slows down his motor. What about Ryan Kerrigan? There's never going to be a time where you tell Ryan Kerrigan or say about him that his motor is turned down. That's why Nate Orchard got to the quarterback a bunch. So when he goes to Cleveland now, chasing Ben Roethlisberger, right? Chasing those guys and chasing Andy Dalton and being able to hold up the point of attack, that's what he brings.
It's a great pick.
It's time for another Hall of Famer to bring the commissioner onto the stage. Here's the Dolphins pick, 52 overall.
To announce the Miami Dolphins selection, please welcome from the University of Alabama, a second-round pick in 1980 by the Dolphins, a 1988 Hall of Fame inductee, offensive lineman Dwight Stevenson.
Thank you. With the 52nd pick in the NFL 2015 draft, the Miami Dolphins select Jordan Phillips, defensive tackle, Oklahoma.
6'5", 329 pounds. He's got first-round ability all over him. He can dominate at the point of attack. He controls the run game. Surprising quickness in short areas. Reminds me a lot of Terrence Knighton. The reason he went in the second round instead of the first round was because people questioned his football character. Never got in trouble, just how badly does he want it?
And he will be next to Ndamukong Suh. A lot of meat in the middle of that line there in Miami. The Bengals have made their pick. The Lions are on the clock. We are back with more from Chicago in a moment. Catch every moment of the 2015 NFL Draft. Watch every pick from every round live with NFL Mobile exclusively from Verizon. The Baltimore Ravens just hopped up from 58 to sit on the clock now at 55. They are making their selection after moving up 3 spots with the Arizona Cardinals. We're waiting here on the Bengals choice, and then the Lions choice, and then the Ravens choice, but that was a choice moment, Melissa Stark, you just saw.
Rich Eisen, I am down on the stage with Jim Kelly, who needs no introduction, his daughter Erin, and just explain what that moment was like making that pick.
Wow, never thought that was going to happen. I mean, total surprise. But I just want people to know out there that, you know, they talk about me being an inspiration to them. I want them to know how much an inspiration they've been to me, because it keeps me fighting and want to come back and you know, make a difference for other people.
And Erin, what is it like to experience this moment and everything with your dad?
It's absolutely indescribable. Just the emotions wrapped around this and just seeing people supporting him still and cheering him on. It's incredible, and it's a huge blessing for us.
We should point out Mom is here too, but she's documenting the whole thing. She's the videographer with the camera over there. But and the excitement for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, we talked about this. We were on the gold carpet together last night, but really, you know, with the running back situation, the new coach, football exciting in Buffalo.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, Rex Ryan brings some excitement there. I mean, that's the bottom line. And for me to get out there and announce a 50th pick, everything was good except one thing. Florida State, I'm a Miami Hurricane. For me to say Florida State, that was kind of hard. But to be honest with you, just to be here and have my wife and my daughter Erin with me to really celebrate us being together and still being a big Buffalo Bills family, it's awesome.
And so how are you, just finally, how are you feeling, and where are we going to see you next?
Oh, I feel great. Hopefully on the sidelines cheering our Bills on to a playoff game this year. Not somewhere else, right there in Ralph Wilson Stadium.
And Erin, you'll be right alongside him?
Absolutely, right alongside him, cheering them on like I always have been.
All right, great to see you all. Congratulations.
Hey, Melissa, thank you.
All right, Rich, back to you.
Great stuff, Melissa. No question about it. Okay, it's now time for a Bengals pick, and then a Lions pick, and then the Ravens just flipped a 5th-round choice to Arizona to move up 3 spots and swap spots with them. Here we go. It's a shuffle.
To announce the Cincinnati Bengals selection.
Oh, you got to see it.
Please welcome from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the 31st overall selection in the 1988 draft by the Bengals, running back and Mr. Shuffle, Ickey Woods.
What's going on? And with the 53rd pick in the 2015 draft, NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jake Fisher, tackle, Oregon. Yeah, we need that.
Jake Fisher, offensive tackle. 2014 first team All Pac-12. Also 2014 third team All-American.
Well, Whitworth dared them to take his replacement, and now they've taken 2 tackles in the draft, Mike.
And Jake Fisher, probably the most accomplished zone tackle in this draft. He can play both sides. He's got a little bit of an edge to him. He may be a little bit underpowered, but he fits the zone scheme of the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Paul Alexander, their offensive line coach, is really going to like him. Good feet length. I think he plays through the whistle, a little bit like Big Country Stewart did for a bunch of years. He finishes. Very interesting that they take 2 tackles. And again, point of attack stays on his block forever. Goal line, rides his guy all the way across the hole. Really interesting. Oboye from A&M come back in the second round, take another tackle. Keep in mind, all 3 of their tackles have 1 year left on their contract.
Now it's time to find out who the latest Detroit Lion is. Detroit chose Laken Tomlinson last night out of Duke, an interior lineman, and they also received Manny Ramirez in the trade after trading down with Denver. So they went interior lineman with a couple of picks, I guess, in a way, last night. And it's now time for Detroit with the Ravens right behind them, and the Steelers have already made their selection. The Rams are on the clock, so things are moving briskly here.
How about
in the second
Carl
round.
Davis? Is it about time for Carl Davis with Detroit? They lost Haloti Ngata.
But they got.
They signed
Haloti
Haloti, but they lost 4. They lost fairly. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Essentially lost 4 defensive tackles in the offseason.
Here comes the commissioner with a Big Ten stud.
To announce the Detroit Lions selection, please welcome from Ohio State University, the 29th overall pick of the 1988 draft by the Lions, linebacker Chris Spielman. With the 54th pick in the 2015 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Amir Abdullah, running back, Nebraska.
What a great third down compliment to Adrian Peterson. Abdullah, 5'8", 205. Undersized specialty back. He's outstanding in the pass game. The problem with him has been fumbles, and he's got extremely small hands. I apologize. I said Minnesota. I meant Detroit. Right church, wrong pew.
Nice.
So, again, undersized specialty back, really good in the zone game. Easy cut north and south with breakaway speed. He hits the hole, he's gone, folks. But what I really like is his lateral quickness. Watch him press the hole. Sucks up the linebacker. Now what happens? See ya. Bounce it outside. Race to the corner. That's an exceptional run right there. And finally, in the open field, I think, Charles, this was against McNeese State.
This won the game.
At
they
the
were
end
about
of the game.
to lose the game. They were going to lose to McNeese.
Watch how many missed tackles here. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't touch me, 6.
In all seriousness, he doesn't make this play, they lose the game. McNeese State at home.
Yeah.
LaDainian Tomlinson, you've been banging the table for this young man. Take it over.
Yeah, Rich, I like this pick. This guy has natural instincts as a runner, and I like this for the Detroit Lions because he's going to partner well with Jork Bell, a bigger back. We know that they lost Reggie Bush this offseason, so him going to Detroit is really going to be a great fit. He's going to be Mr. Outside, run screen plays, really open up their offense, and Jork Bell is going to smash it up in the middle. I really like this pick.
Yeah, and Theo Riddick certainly was making some plays towards the end of the season last year, certainly when Reggie Bush was banged up. So that's the latest member of the Detroit Lions, Amir Abdullah. Now here's the Ravens, who again traded up 3 spots, flipped a 5th-round choice to Arizona, which now will be on the clock in consecutive picks in the 5th round, 158 and 159. What do you think the Ravens are doing here, Mike?
I think it has to be a tight end. They're trying to jump ahead of Pittsburgh to get Max Williams.
That's what's happening?
What?
That's what you think is happening?
Yeah.
There we go. Let's go to the podium right now.
The Arizona Cardinals have traded the 55th pick to the Baltimore Ravens. To announce the Baltimore Ravens selection, please welcome, from the University of Miami, the 10th overall pick in the 1998 draft, defensive back Dwayne Starks.
With the 55th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Max Williams, tight end, Minnesota.
Got to know your draft board. There you go, Mike.
Had to get ahead of Pittsburgh because their starting tight end, Heath Miller's getting older. Williams is almost 6'4", 249. Really good catch radius, more athletic than he is twitchy. Reminds me a lot of Kyle Rudolph, which means he's an athlete with great hands.
So the Steelers pick when we come back, and we just saw the Bengals pick. And in a town with so much great food, we got some cold cuts. Neat stuff.
Something about it feels so right.
Welcome back. Almost nightfall here in Chicago. The last night that we will see in this draft. It's all day tomorrow outside. They are just loving this draft here in this beautiful city on the shores of Lake Michigan. Michigan Avenue teeming with fans wearing jerseys of all 32 teams. Over 100,000 fans last night. They're counting them up tonight, expecting maybe 250,000 fans to descend upon Draft Town tomorrow in this golden anniversary Super Bowl season. It's been a beautiful facility inside the Auditorium Theater at Roosevelt University. We have reached pick number 56 to be announced, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it will be announced by Mel Blount, who I first met at a Hall of Fame years ago. He was standing next to Bruce Smith, who is a mountain of a man, and he was head and shoulders above him. The first thing I thought of was like, no wonder they changed the rules for this guy. And as soon as the Steelers pick is going to get announced, we will hear the picks of the Rams and the Cardinals, who have already made their selections. You're looking at the Broncos war room cam of a selection being made. They have 3 minutes left on the clock. That is picks 56, 57, 58, and 59 is the Denver Broncos. The Steelers, I know we joked about it at the top of the broadcast that Blount might be able to give them 20 snaps. Certainly for a team that is in desperate need to replenish a secondary that's been racked by retirements and also long in the tooth players. What do you think the Steelers can do? Do you think they can go in that spot right now, Mike?
I think they have to take their best corner or safety on the board. It could be a Quentin Rollins, it could be an Alex Carter, could be a pure corner. But just to tag your point on Mel Blount, when I was a 10th round draft pick of the Steelers, I walked into the locker room with Mel Blount and also Donnie Shell. And I'm a 10th round pick, and I'm going to beat them in the front of every line. Because I got to be the first guy in line. You couldn't beat them. They were 10, 11-year veterans, and they hustled to every drill. They sat in the front of every meeting room, and they set an example for the young guys. It was unbelievable.
What's that like as a coach when you have that type of leadership from your star players?
Well, that's what you're always looking for, because you want the star players to lead. And I always say when a young man become a senior, it's his time to go lead the team. But you want those star players, the ones that work the hardest, you want them up front. Everybody else watch them work, and then that just makes your team better.
Yep. What'll be interesting with this pick to me is what Pittsburgh decides to do, whether it's that pure corner or one of those conversion safety guys. Because last night we saw Indianapolis look like they might go with a bigger guy, and they ended up adding more speed to their team as a counter to something Houston did, getting Kevin Johnson. We see your extra corner. we're going to get another speed guy in Philip Dorsett to beat you within the division and make ourselves better.
Bud Dupree was their selection last night out of Kentucky. Big dude who's got the same measurables, height and weight, as Willie McGinnis.
Now, if he can play like Willie McGinnis,
I hear you.
That'll be huge. And remember, Pittsburgh has a screaming need at outside linebacker. They haven't quite gotten that right lately.
I really think Baltimore jumped them for the tight end, which is why it took so long here.
There we go.
To announce the Pittsburgh Steelers selection, please welcome from Southern University, selected in the 3rd round of the 1970 draft by the Steelers, Hall of Famer, defensive back Mel Blount.
Thank you. Okay, here we go, Steeler Nation. With the 56th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Sinquez Golson, defensive back, Mississippi.
So they go D-back.
Yeah, he's a corner that's only 5'8.5", 176. But what separates this dude is ball skills. Remember, he was drafted by the Boston Red Sox. Played minor league baseball. The question is, how much does size matter? 5'8.5". Charles, he sees the field. He's one of the best pure zone corners I've seen. This was against Alabama with the game on the line. He midpoint 2 verticals. Not only did he knock it down, he caught it and ended the football game. That's a great play right there. Here he is, back to the football. Look at him find the football in the air. Now he becomes the receiver.
And I think the play you just saw there, Mike, where he took the LSU receiver out, that's the play they're looking for to match up in their division and deal with those teams they're going to have to deal with. Think about Cincinnati and A.J. Green, right?
Here he is.
That the baseball skills you're talking about. Being able to, now, he's not tracking that one except, hey, that's a hit.
There's speed now, right?
But he plays so much zone at Ole Miss.
Right.
They had to be convinced to themselves that he could match up and play man coverage. Again, the A.J. Greens of the world that they deal with. Antonio Brown at Pittsburgh.
Coach, here's part of the problem, Coach, is when you couple him with B.W. Webb, who's another short corner on the other side, then in today's NFL, they're going to play jump ball outside the numbers.
Well, that's your concern, his size, because you know now it's going to be a matchup, so you always try to get a bigger body on a little guy. And so can he win outside? Does he have enough vertical when the ball goes up? Can he go up and go get it?
Here's a Rams pick. They were going to pick 41st on the night, but they traded down with Carolina to make the selection.
To announce the St. Louis Rams selection, please welcome from the University of Hawaii, a 2nd-round draft pick in 2003 by the Rams, linebacker Pisa Tino Isamoa.
Thank you. With the 57th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, we, the St. Louis Rams, select Robert Havenstein, tackle, Wisconsin.
Had to be an offensive lineman. Havenstein is a right tackle only, 6'7.5", 321 pounds. Graded him on tape as about a 3rd rounder, then he went to the Senior Bowl, and he competed extremely well. He may be average athletically, but he uses angles, he uses leverage, he's got long arms, and he's a really good football player, Charles.
Very smart about understanding his angles and taking away what he doesn't do very well to maximize what he does do well. And he's a big, strong, physical guy, as you might expect at Wisconsin. What'll be interesting to me, though, is him going to St. Louis. Who's going to play left tackle? Because he's not going to play left tackle.
No, Greg Robinson's going to play left tackle.
You keep him out. You keep talking about, people are saying, do you take Robinson, move him in the guard? Are we finding someone for that? Right now, you leave Robinson at left tackle, Saffold down
at left guard,
and then you go to right tackle at Havenstein.
Right.
And guess what? The Todd Gurley pick now looks better, doesn't it? You're getting better on the offensive line.
And, Coach, whenever you get in the NFL where you're only dressing, you dress a lot of linemen at University of Texas.
Yes.
They're dressing 7 on Sunday.
Yes.
What does versatility for an offensive lineman do?
Well, it's so key because you like someone who can play inside or outside for you. But if you look at this pick here, it's the speed and quickness. When he's matched up on a defensive end, can beat you off the edge, or a three technique can beat you inside. Can he move well enough to where he can just stop that movement? So that's going to be the key for him, and it's all about just improving his foot speed.
Yep. The Arizona Cardinals, who traded down a few moments ago so the Ravens could, as you pointed out, Mike Mayock, beat the Steelers to Max Williams, the top tight end on your draft board from Minnesota. It's now time for Arizona to make their pick with a safety that just retired, an Arizona Cardinal.
To announce the Arizona Cardinals selection, please welcome from North Carolina State University, selected in the 3rd round in 2001 by the Cardinals, defensive back Adrian Wilson.
Thank you. Thank you. With the 58th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Marcus Golden, linebacker, Missouri.
Another
Go Bird game.
This is one of the hardest working men in football. 6'2.5", 260. He didn't get as much pub as his partner in crime, Shane Ray. However, when you put the tape on, your eye keeps going to number 33. They say he's too short, his arm length isn't good enough. All I know is every time he's on the football field, it's 100%, and for some reason, Charles Davis, he keeps sacking the quarterback. He makes plays.
What was that term you used to love to use, the Energizer Bunny type guy?
Yep.
I mean, that's him to a T. So now you take him and look at what Arizona's been looking for. Remember, Darrell Washington was an inside linebacker that made a ton of plays for them.
Yep.
They no longer have that. Darnell Dockett, no longer there, who made plays up front. They've got to find playmakers on the defense in order to keep up with trying to get with Seattle. And
that's right.
You want to say something, Coach?
Well, you think about it, and you look, he's playing opposite Ray. So now you always feel like, I got to get a guy who you can feel. Right. So you have one guy who can apply the pressure, and he was good enough where he could go and make the tackle and get the sacks. Because now you're looking at somebody opposite him, say, now can this guy really do it? Is he a good enough playmaker for you?
And the team that traded up to select Shane Ray, it's now time for them to make their second selection. The Denver Broncos, 59th overall. Another old school name that we haven't heard in quite some time. Rick Upchurch is in the house.
To announce the Denver Broncos selection, please welcome from the University of Minnesota, a 4th round pick in the 1975 draft by the Broncos, wide receiver Rick Upchurch.
If I can just take 1 second, I'd like to thank my Denver Bronco family and my family back in Holland, Ohio. I'm in the process, I'm fighting leukemia. And my family, the Denver Broncos, and my family back in Holland, Ohio, I'd just like to say thank you for being in my corner. With the 59th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, our Denver Broncos select Ty Sambrailo, tackle from Colorado State University.
They stay in state.
6'6", 311, left tackle from Colorado State. Kind of a finesse guy in the pass game, but I like he's got left tackle feet. I like his upside. He just needs to keep getting stronger. Need to see more hip snap and movement in the run game, but his athletic ability is outstanding. See him there on the left side. At the Senior Bowl, I talked to several of the coaches during the week, and that was the one thing. We love his athletic ability. He just needs to get stronger, and he can be a starting left tackle.
Doesn't he give them a chance to reset their offensive line now and everyone get back to their natural positions? They had to play out of position a lot last year because they had to shuffle guys around.
Yeah, they traded Manny Ramirez away last night to go up and trade for Shane Ray. Now they have another tackle from in-state Colorado State. The Dallas Cowboys selection is up next. last night. The Joneses added one. Byron Jones, part of the Dallas Cowboys secondary. Look, what do you think the Joneses are trying to do tonight with the pick that we're about to hear, 60th overall? Well, don't
running
even
back.
guess. You think running back?
Yeah, I really do.
What is this, a giant? What do you
Could
think?
be Jay Ajayi.
Tevin Coleman could be in play here.
Tevin Coleman.
Heavy volume runner.
Okay, here we go. Who are they going to add to McFadden now that DeMarco Murray's an Eagle?
To announce the Dallas Cowboys selection, please welcome from Arizona State University, the 37th overall selection in the 1992 draft by the Cowboys, defensive back Darren Woodson.
How about them Cowboys? With the 60th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select, great pick, Randy Gregory, defensive end, Nebraska.
Well then, no running back. They went ahead and took the last player sitting in the green room. Randy Gregory joins a team that went ahead and signed Greg Hardy, who won't be there for the first 10 games. There's a lot of red flags on that line, but if they can go ahead and hunt some quarterbacks and the Dallas Cowboys can win some games, I guess everything will be hunky-dory there.
We've talked all along, there's no denying the talent. But what I hope is that the Dallas Cowboys have a plan in place, an infrastructure in place to help this young man deal with what he's going to have to deal with. And I'm not just talking about when he's at the facility. I'm talking about who's he bringing with him, who's with him when he's away from the facility. How do you help this young man turn the corner in a positive way? Coach?
Well, it's all about surrounding him with the right people. And he has to be surrounded with the right people and someone that can have a positive impact on his life.
Right.
Because now when you take him away from football, it's not, you're fine when he's around the facility and he's at practice, but when he leaves the facility and then he leaves and then he's around, like you said, who is he going to be surrounded by? And do they have enough leadership in that locker room to take this young man and lead him?
And will he allow himself to be surrounded by those people? Many people get the mentors, get the people who are in their life, give them guidance, show them the right way, and guys choose to go the other way often themselves. Will he allow that to happen so that he can make that improvement? And just think about it now. Hardy's out, 10 games as we know? Pass rushing, something they need. DeMarcus Lawrence had his bumps at Boise State. He was hurt for much of last year. They're trying to up that pass rushing. I thought Rod Marinelli did a fantastic job last year with that defense. They still continue to need help.
Yeah, Jeremy Mincy was their most consistent pass rusher.
Well, Mike, at some point these young players are going to have to start realizing, just look at the draft when we talk about what's happening in your life and how to live your life the right way. It's a great reflection right here tonight and even last night of what we talk about character, where guys are getting selected.
Yep. You can see Melissa's setting up to chat with Randy Gregory, so let's go right now to the stage. Melissa?
All right, Rich, well, when you got that call, you put your head right down on that table. What were the emotions going through your mind?
It's hard to explain, man. I got a lot of respect for that organization. Jerry Jones, Coach Marinelli, I got a lot of respect for him, make them proud, and that was just, you seeing a lot of joy, come from me.
It took a tremendous amount of courage for you to come here and do what you did. You walked the gold carpet last night. You've been sitting in that green room with cameras in your face for the last 48 hours.
It was worth it.
Why was that important to you?
It was important to me just being here. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. I got the good fans behind me, the best fans in the nation. Got my family here. I couldn't ask for anything better. It was worth the wait. I'm happy to be a Cowboy.
I know you still think that you are the best defensive player in this draft. How much do you think the failed test at the Combine affected your draft position?
Obviously a lot, but you know what, like I said, it's in the past. And me and the Cowboys, we're going to take over this league. I can promise you that. We're going to do big things.
You came down those stairs saying Super Bowl, baby, didn't you?
Definitely. That's what we're aiming for every year. That's the main goal, and if that's not your goal, I don't know why you're doing it.
And you even have the blue tie on. Do you think somehow maybe you just knew?
You know, I had red on yesterday from Nebraska, and this was the second suit that I brought. And it's funny, everybody up there sitting was wearing blue too, so I guess it was meant to happen.
Good things come to those who wait. You know that saying, right?
Definitely, of
All right,
course.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Rich?
All right, thanks very much. The Indianapolis Colts were going to select next, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just popped up to select next. A surprise pick by the Dallas Cowboys. Randy Gregory is the newest member of America's team.
Welcome back to Draft Town. Good look at Buckingham Fountain, Grant Park. Thousands of fans lining up, continue to have fun. In fact, you want to take a look at the Pepsi draft tweets, so go along and read along as you will and update you. You can see the fountain colored in orange. That's because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have traded up for the 61st selection, which was originally held by the Indianapolis Colts. So the Colts deal number 61 and number 128 overall in the 4th round. Tampa trades the first pick of the 3rd round, which is number 65 overall, and also their 4th round pick, number 109. Now, earlier tonight, they selected Donovan Smith, the offensive lineman out of Penn State, to protect Jameis Winston, who inked a 4-year, $25 million deal. So what are the Buccaneers going to do, you think, here?
Well, we know they're not going to draft defensive players because they haven't done that last year or this year. I think this offensive line still needs more work, guys. I think we could see them look in that direction again with this pick right here. Let this offense grow up together. Give Jameis Winston, your quarterback, we've already signed to a contract, by the way. Give him some more help up front.
I agree. Why not? You know, you need to surround this guy with protection. That's the number one thing. They have the skill players. Right now, they need to build that offensive line.
Yeah, when Winston, you put that kind of asset in your number 1 overall pick, Lovie Smith, in his 2nd year. That's always kind of an outside of a sequence type of deal. So yeah, you got to protect your number 1 asset, which is now Jameis Winston.
You know, we carried Jameis Winston's press conference live earlier today on NFL Network. Came off very impressive, as you would expect. He's an intelligent guy. He's an engaging guy. What'd you take away from the press conference, LT?
I thought he nailed the press conference. He said everything right. He talked about being a great teammate, getting in the community, and really getting to know the people in the community. And also, I thought he did a good job of just coming off just really, just really being a guy that's sincere about what he has done in the past.
Understated.
Yeah, and really was looking to move forward. I thought he did a tremendous job.
Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, there's never been a problem with him. You sit with him. Remember, we sat with him at the Combine. Very impressive, very intelligent young man. He's been schooled very well. It's just those other instances, if he can just get that under control and understand the repercussions of what he's doing now. That, like today with the tweet and the picture,
with the
it was
leg,
innocent enough, but you can't do that now. Others maybe can. You can't. If he'll learn that, then the sky's the limit.
Interestingly, he said, you know what, I'm not really the face of the franchise yet. You know, I'll let some of the leaders be that. Kid, you are the face of the franchise. We'll see if you get any additional help right now.
The Indianapolis Colts have traded the 61st pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With the 61st pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ali Marpet, tackle, Hobart.
One of the stars of the Combine, DJ.
Division III Hobart, Ali Marpet. This is a fun player to watch on tape, guys. The first tape I popped in was against the U.S. Merchant Marines. I'm guessing you didn't know they had a football program there. The second tape was against Endicott, and it didn't take long to figure out who the NFL prospect was on the field because Ali Marpet just piled knockdown after knockdown after knockdown. You see him here at left tackle. He has so much torque and so much power in his hands. It looks like he's playing against little kids, and in some instances, he is playing against little kids. Some pass rushers are 215, 220 pounds. So the concern was, how would he do when he stepped up at competition at the Senior Bowl? and he answered the bell. He got better each and every day. Then he goes to Indianapolis, you see right here at the Combine, and tested extremely well. Second round, I thought might be a little bit early, but I think teams fell in love with him, and the Bucks got some help up front.
And the Bucks trade up for him. He's the first player ever from Hobart that has been drafted in the NFL draft, and he's the first Division III offensive lineman taken since 1996 when Ethan Brooks of Williams College was selected in the 7th round by the Atlanta Falcons. The Green Bay Packers pick is in. Let's listen in.
To announce the Green Bay Packers selection, please welcome from Alcorn State University, a 7th round pick in the 1999 draft by the Packers, wide receiver, Donald Driver.
With the 62nd pick in the 2000 NFL Draft, our Green Bay Packers, go Pack Go, select Quentin Rose, defensive back from the University of Miami, Ohio.
Okay, don't mean to correct him, but it's Miami University. I only know that because I attended that school as well.
This is a good one for you, Roser.
There you go.
How about the Green Bay Packers in the first round? They go Demarius Randall, who's a corner/safety. And then they go Quentin Rollins here in the 2nd round. You see on the bottom there, corner/safety. Played basketball in college, only 1 year as a football player. On the basketball court, you can see just how athletic he is, so quick. Nice little spin, little pull and pop right there,
Yeah,
Roser.
he'll be great in the pickup games up there near Lambeau, right?
I don't think he's going to be able to go help your Browns. You're out, Kevin Love, but I don't want to get you in a bad mood. Look, Quentin Rollins, you see him on the football field. It's all about the ball skills. You can see the basketball background. Go up at the highest point, locate the football, and knock it away. And for a basketball player, you thought, okay, instincts might be a question mark. Hasn't played a lot of football. The instincts are outstanding. You mix in the toughness he brings to the table. He won't hesitate to fill a hole, and he will get you on the ground. You see an explosive hit right there. The Green Bay Packers, to me, this is a shift in football. You need versatile players at corner and safety. You got 2 of them already.
So they go secondary. Last night, Demarius Randall out of Arizona State, and now Quentin Rollins. What about Seattle on the clock for the first time in the draft?
To announce the Seattle Seahawks selection, please welcome from UCLA, the 4th overall pick in the 1981 draft by the Seahawks, defensive back Kenny Easley.
Okay. With the 63rd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, my team, the Seattle Seahawks, hey, don't hate on us now. Don't hate on us. Okay, the Seattle Seahawks select Frank Clark, defensive end, University of Michigan.
Interesting selection. Character concerns abound with this guy, Daniel.
Yeah, Frank Clark. There was a major character concerns with him. I know several teams had taken him completely off the board, Chris. So this, to me, is a little bit of a surprise. You're taking a chance with Clark. The ability is there. You'll see the heavy hands at the point of attack. He can rush the passer. That's all there. But this is a player with a lot of issues off the football field.
Yeah, we talked about it all day. How do you deal with these character issues? We talked about it earlier. Is this just young mistakes like all people make, or is this an exhibit of his true character, his core character? They're deciding that this is something they can work with going forward, and they're going to get a good value if they can.
They've never been scared to deal with that head on. I mean, Bruce Irvin a few years ago, they selected in the first round, and so they dealt with him. So we'll see what happens up there in Seattle. What about the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots? A lot of people thought they got a steal at the end of round 1 when they picked up Malcolm Brown, defensive lineman out of Texas, and now apparently the pick is in for the final selection of round 2 of the NFL draft. DJ, which way do you think they're going?
I look on the offensive line here, maybe interior offensive lineman.
All right, let's see. Once again, here is the commissioner.
To announce the New England Patriots selection, please welcome from the University of Michigan, a first-round pick in the 1995 draft by the Patriots, defensive back Ty Law.
With the 64th pick of the 2015 draft, the Super Bowl 49 champion, New England Patriots select Jordan Richards, defensive back, Stanford.
Yeah, Jordan Richards, very, very smart safety, a little bit limited athletically. I thought this was a little bit of a reach for the New England Patriots, but they don't care what others think. They'll take players a little bit higher than others think they should. This, to me, is maybe 2 rounds early.
So that'll do it for round 2 of the NFL Draft. After a quick break, we are headed back inside the Indianapolis Colts. First up on the clock in round 3 as we head back across the street inside the auditorium.
Welcome back to Chicago. The Jacksonville Jaguar colors lighting up Buckingham Fountain right now. Pick 67, which is the 3rd pick in the 3rd round. That is now officially underway. The Pepsi draft tweets at the bottom of your screen as we're showing you Draft Town across the street. The Indianapolis Colts, who traded down out of the 2nd round, which, by the way, went without a single quarterback taken. Last time that happened 10 years ago, 2005. Colts traded out of the 2nd round to take the 1st pick in the 3rd round. And the commissioner of the National Football League about to come out and make that announcement here in the auditorium. And then we'll hear from the Titans. And then when the Jaguars are done, which they are actually making the pick, we'll hear from that pick. And then the Raiders. We're down to 5 minutes per pick from here on out. The 2015 draft in Chicago. It is the 3rd round underway.
To announce the Indianapolis Colts selection, please welcome from Boston University, a 4th-round pick in the 1986 draft by the Colts, wide receiver Bill Brooks.
With the 65th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select DeJon Smith, defensive back, Florida Atlantic.
DeJon Smith from FAU, quick-footed corner, 5'10", 187. May be best ideally suited inside. He's quick and feisty. I think ultimately he's a nickel. But I know Chuck Pagano will like him because he's so darn competitive. Put a tape on and you see him flash everywhere. So he's not as long as you may like, but he's competitive, tough, and Charles, what I love, this kid will tackle.
That's what you see out of him, all that competitiveness, and now the Colts, again, fooling people a little bit by going a little bit on defense this time, but after last night, they went heavy offense.
Man, this city's so beautiful. One of the great skylines in America and the planet. We're in round number 3 in Chicago. 2015 NFL Draft rolling on in a moment.
The 2015 NFL Draft is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL, and by Michelin, a better way forward.
Guys, it's really what
if you can't be in front of your TV with us for the draft, no worries. You can follow along every pick by checking out the draft tracker presented by Lexus only on NFL.com. Again, 5 minutes per pick in this round and for every other round. For the rest of the draft here in Chicago, we saw DeJon Smith go to the Colts. We're about to get the Titans and Jaguars back-to-back, and the Raiders pick right after that. Let's go to the stage once again here at the Auditorium Theater in Chicago.
With the 66th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Jeremiah Patasi, tackle, Utah.
Troy Vincent now making the pick. Very familiar face to Philadelphia Eagle fans, part of the NFL front office now. Jeremiah Patasi out of Utah is another protector added to the line there. Last year they went first round with the tackle.
6'5", 338, only 20 years old. Now, he might have played left tackle at Utah, but his home will either be as a right tackle or inside. He's a massive tackle. He moves bodies. He fits extremely well in a gap scheme offensive line where you get after people man.
Let's go back now to the podium. It's once again Troy Vincent with the Jacksonville Jaguars pick.
With the 67th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select A.J. Cann, guard, South Carolina.
Another good pick. This kid can play center or guard, was an outstanding guard at South Carolina, 313 pounds. Play either way, immediate starter. The only question was power, but what I like is his quickness, his ability to get out and get to both levels. Here's a drive block, stays on the block, hand shoot inside, and he stays on the block. Watch this one, coach. Goes down on the tackle, defensive nose tackle. Stays on the block.
Well, the thing you like about it, too, he can cover you up because he's a big guy that can move his feet, pull, and go cover up people.
And here he is inside again. Heck of a block. I think he's going to kick all the way inside and play center ultimately.
I guess it figures that the Jaguars stay in the Southeast. All three players, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, for Jacksonville from the SEC. Back to Big Ten country with the Raiders pick in a moment. Welcome back to Chicago. About 15 minutes ago, the Seahawks became the last team to pick for the first time in this draft because, again, they traded away their first-round choice to New Orleans at the outset of free agency for Jimmy Graham in that trade that also included Max Unger. The reason why I bring this up is moments ago, they just made a trade with Washington to move all the way up from 95 to 69, and for that right, coughed up 3 draft picks in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round to a team that obviously feels the need to collect players based on their current standing in the NFC East and the NFL. Here is the Oakland
To
pick.
announce the Oakland Raiders selection, please welcome from Northwestern University, the 23rd overall pick in the 2002 draft by the Raiders, linebacker and Illinois Senator, Napoleon Harris.
Thank you. With the 68th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Clive Walford, tight end, University of Miami.
The number 2 tight end in this class, 6'4", 251 pounds. One of those guys that I think plays faster than any time. Vertical threat, catches the ball extremely well. He's got a little work to do as a blocker. See Senior Bowl practice. Nice job getting up the field, working that linebacker easily and making a catch. Again, outside release, across the face. You can see how fluid he is for a big guy. And then in practice, he's got to do a better job of staying on blocks. Okay. But then look at him slide out. Very active guy. Point of attack, underpowered. Gets stacked and shed. No gain. But they're excited at the Walford.
The old Skype. Need to work on the internet connection here. But anyway, it's a very nice moment for the Walford family. Okay, let's see who the Seahawks wanted so badly to move all the way up to 69.
The Washington Redskins have traded the 69th pick to the Seattle Seahawks. With the 69th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Tyler Lockett, wide receiver, Kansas State.
Love this kid. Absolutely love this kid. He can play inside, he can play outside. The only knock on him is size. Double move, see ya, I'm gone. He's one of those guys that's both quick and fast. Catches bubble screens. And by the way, no surprise when you look at him run that he's one of the best punt return men in the country. And look at him as a gunner on the punt team, covering kicks. How many wide receivers do you see do that? And here he is as the return guy. Sets up blocks, takes off. He is a perfect guy for Seattle. A playmaker, both on offense and special teams.
Remember they drafted Paul Richardson last year. Got hurt a little bit.
Yep.
Lockett gives him that speed on the outside to help out the receiving corps.
And there's the Honda War Room cam in the Pacific Northwest. John Schneider standing up, Pete Carroll sitting down. And here's Troy Vincent again.
The New York Jets have traded the 70th pick to the Houston Texans. With the 70th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Jalen Strong, wide receiver, Arizona State.
Throw for the end zone, caught for a touchdown.
Jalen Strong, wide receiver.
Jalen Strong makes the catch.
2014 First Team All Pac-12.
Caught for a touchdown.
Nice pick from West Catholic High School in West Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Almost 6'3", 217 pounds, extremely strong hands. Big body throws, and when I say Larry Fitzgerald, I'm talking about body frame only. That's who he reminds me of. He still has to learn how to run routes like Larry Fitzgerald. But what he is a big body guy that with the ball in his hands is a horse. He also catches back shoulder better than anybody in the country. Uses the body, high points it, doesn't run a complicated route tree, but that's what he's going to learn in the NFL. Again, go get the football, high point it, secure the catch. Yards after the catch, high points the football, gets up the field north and south. He ran 4.44 at the combine. Daniel Jeremiah said earlier today he doesn't necessarily play that fast, but coach, you know how it is when a guy can learn how to use his speed, then you got a whole different level.
Oh, you do. And the thing he does, he goes up and gets the ball. You know, the ball is thrown up. I think it may have been USC. I remember the Hail Mary that he threw it where he goes up and wins the game.
Yep.
But he's one of those guys, when the ball is in the air, he goes and attack it.
Did your homework, huh?
Yeah, you know what Arizona,
I like that.
You know what Arizona State called that play? Yeah. The Jail Mary. So the thing about him that you look at is remember who he's going to replace now. Andre Johnson no longer there. Another big-bodied wide receiver out wide to help DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to fill in on the other side, obviously, because they picked him a couple of years ago. But all of that's been talked about. But they need to see, Daniel Jeremiah, something you touched on earlier. Will he play at 4-4 each and every snap? Because that's what they're going to need to help stretch the field out a little bit more.
Well, I don't know that he's going to play to that time, but I'll tell you what, he reminds me of a guy that's had a lot of success in this league, and that's Eric Decker. You look at guys with outstanding size. They can go up and get the football when you get down in the red zone, and you're not sure how fast they are, except you know they're just fast enough to get by you, and you can't catch up to them. You see the same things with Eric Decker. People underestimate their speed. When you get down in the red zone, you can find soft spots, find holes, in zone coverages, and make plays. You see the same thing from Jalen Strong. Instinctive would be the word I would use to describe him. One of the most instinctive wide receivers in this class.
Well, let me tell you what the Houston Texans traded to get this pick, move up 12 spots. They coughed up a 5, the 7 that they got in trade earlier, right? And DeVere Posey goes from the Texans to the New York Jets. What do you think of that?
I think we're seeing more players being used this year in trades than in past years. And what happens, Rich, is a lot of times how you want to balance the trade chart, and you need a certain number of points, and if you don't have it, if a player is somewhat expendable, it makes sense.
It's time for the Bears pick, and the commissioner will have a special guest with him from St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which depends on individual donations to make kids better, make sure families never see a bill.
The NFL's support of St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital helps ensure that all kids have a chance to play 60. This year, NFL Network's Run Rich Run campaign called on fans to submit 40-yard dash videos of themselves and a donation to St. Jude. It raised more than $100,000. I think that's for you, Rich. So. I'm joined now by Samantha Jones. Sam is 13, a Bears fan from Dunlap, Illinois. Sam is undergoing treatment for bone cancer at St. Jude, but this does not stop her from being physically active and continuing to fight. To make the Bears announcement, please welcome Sam.
Thank you, Commissioner Goodell. With the 71st pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Hronis Grasu, center from Oregon.
And that's not an easy name to say.
No. I think she's a first-round pick, to be honest with you. She is adorable. Yeah. Hronis, 6'3", 297. Hronis Grasu, University of Oregon, highly efficient center for the university for the last 3.5 years starter. Played next to Kyle Long, played inside Jake Fisher.
Neat moment here in Chicago. Back with more. Round number 3 on a beautiful night. Welcome back to Chicago. It is 10 o'clock in the east, 9 o'clock here in the Windy City. That is supposed to be 70 degrees tomorrow. For that scene outside, outdoors tonight, to be teeming with fans. They're expecting maybe 250,000 fans to come and fill up Draft Town and Grant Park across the street from this beautiful 126-year-old auditorium that will be shuttered tonight. And then the rest of the draft will be held outside with all picks coming from Honda war rooms like the one that you're seeing right now. The hair is unmistakable of Les Snead and also Thomas Dimitrov. They're from the same scouting tree and the same hair tree, I think. There's Thomas Dimitrov and Scott Pioli. Here's Troy Vincent with the latest pick. It's the Rams.
With the 72nd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Jamon Brown, tackle, Louisville.
Oh, hey, Coach.
All right. Go for it, Coach.
You know, and you look at Jamon, a big offensive tackle, and the thing he did is he lost some weight because he had gotten up there, ballooned up to like 340, and now he cut down his weight. A big guy can move outside, has a great voice, can sing now. He's an unbelievable singer, but he does did an unbelievable job for us. And they're just glad to see another Louisville player taking it, Jamon Brown.
What do you think his best position is, Coach?
And I think that he's going to have to move inside because I just think that outside of the tackle position, with him being inside, he adds power, and he's a big guy that can cover up people and can move you off the line of scrimmage.
So that matches up well then, doesn't it? Now you're talking about Robinson left tackle, Saffold left guard. Move this guy in at right guard maybe. They had the pick, was it Havenstein at right tackle?
4 of their 5 offensive line starters from last year are gone. They're still free agents, so they have to rebuild this entire offense.
Todd Gurley right now. Yes. Yes.
Same with Nick Foles, right? Obviously. As the Rams are loading up that offensive line and the running back position. The Falcons war room yielding the latest pick. Hello, Scott Pioli. Hello, Coach Quinn. Mr. Blank, Thomas. Everybody will hear what their pick is next.
Back live in Chicago, across the street In Draft Town, USA, Atlanta Falcons are now on the clock. They've gone defense and defense with their 2 picks. What are they doing here, Daniel Jeremiah?
They need to go defense again. Let me jump in there.
Look, if you want to go for another edge rusher to complement what you did in the first round with Vic Beasley, Owa Odigizua from UCLA still out there. Eli Harold from Virginia still out there. So, Coach, if they want to go defense, there's some options there.
The worst defensive group in the National Football League. They've got, and you got to know Dan Quinn standing there, going to lock anybody out of the room that wants to take an offensive player.
Here's Troy Vincent, not draft eligible.
With the 73rd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Tevin Coleman, running back, Indiana.
All right, LT, there you go, Tevin Coleman.
Very explosive guy, has great straight line speed. This guy really reminds me of Darren McFadden. Now, if he can stay healthy, this could be the guy that they need in that backfield. Remember, Steven Jackson is getting a little old in the tooth, and so they need a young, explosive guy to complement what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball.
And look at the reaction. This is what's great. I mean, surrounded by family and friends. That is a Friday night party, folks.
Did he do this in the bus station or something?
I mean, it's crazy.
Look at all those people.
That's wonderful. That is great to see. Not far from us in Park Forest, Illinois.
Yeah, this is somebody that's very productive. The Big Ten had a lot of running backs this year. Tevin Coleman put up huge stats. I'm excited for him. Looks so happy right there, celebrating this big moment. He's going to a football team that could use a bigger back. He brings that to the table. And LT touched on it with the Darren McFadden comparison. Runs a little bit narrow, but if you give him a crease, he is gone. He has got big-time top-end speed. I always, when I watch him, the first thing I noticed was that offhand. We call it like a meat grinder when you're talking about scouting. He is pumping that left arm when he's running with the football, but he needs a little bit of room. He's not going to break a lot of tackles. He's going to step through some, but the Atlanta Falcons right here, seeing what they got, a nice new running back.
Here's the Honda War Room, and this is just moments ago. You can see all the executives in there watching their new running back in town. Of course, no more Steven Jackson. It's Devontae Freeman. It's Anton Smith out there as well, doing a little damage behind Matt Ryan. So they go defense in the first 2 rounds, and you love this running back now that they've got in town as well.
I do.
All right, so up next on the clock, it is the New York Giants. We haven't heard from them since the first pick of the night here. They traded up 7 spots with Tennessee, and they went and selected Landon Collins, one of the top safeties on the board from Alabama. So what's next for them?
Well, I just touched on those 2 edge rushers. When you look at Eli Harold, it could be the pick right here.
Let's find out.
With the 74th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Owamabe Ozigidua, defensive end, UCLA.
In trouble, and he'll be sacked.
Owamabe Odigizua, defensive end, 2014 second team All Pac-12.
Doesn't see the rush coming in. Odigizua.
His name means peace, love, and joy, and the G-men are hoping he brings none of that to the table every Sunday.
He wasn't a joy for USC to try and block this year. I can promise you that, Roser. He is a specimen when you see him on the hoof. Heavy hands at the point of attack. Pass rush is a question mark because he doesn't really have a game plan, needs to be coached up. But this is somebody that plays hard from snap to whistle each and every game. You see him finish right here against Cal. He's had some injuries in his past. I think that's probably one of the reasons why he slid down in the draft. But you talk about somebody with upside that is extremely athletic and plays the game hard. That's what you're getting in Owa Odigizua.
You can never have enough pass rushers, right, Coach?
Well, in New York, that's their trademark, isn't it? And they've gotten away from that. They have not, whether it be a free agency, whether it's be injuries. So you got to know Tom Coughlin. Defensively, we're going to get back to what our strength has always been, and it begins with the front 7, in particular the front 4.
All right, time right now to check in with our Ian Rappaport, our NFL media insider. Ian, we heard quarterback selected with the first 2 picks. That was way back last night, and nothing since then. What is going on?
Well, there's a couple teams to watch coming up, Chris, who may take a quarterback either 3rd round, 4th round. The New Orleans Saints are one. They've been eyeing some, including Bryce Petty, Sean Mannion, Garrett Grayson, another one who could go either in this round or maybe early tomorrow. The St. Louis Rams are another team that has been scouting quarterbacks, and the Buffalo Bills, who also have quarterbacks questions, they are another team to watch.
Ian Rappaport, thank you very much. So the Saints Up next on the clock with the 75th pick, then it's Minnesota, Cleveland, and the Saints again. More from Chi-Town after this.
Welcome back to Chicago. Time to check out some Pepsi draft tweets. We're about to hear the New Orleans Saints pick. And I believe they're playing California Girls in here for the first time since the Left Shark appeared at an NFL event in this song together.
Who knew that not being able to keep step would make you famous?
Maybe someone's going to draft the Left Shark. What a scene again outside. And we're going to be out there all day tomorrow to finish up the draft. Last we heard, the Giants added in Odigizua to go with their Amukamara. And now comes the New Orleans Saints for the first time in the next 4 picks. We'll hear from the Saints. And here comes the pick from Troy Vincent from the New Orleans Saints draft.
With the 75th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Garrett Grayson, quarterback, Colorado State.
Okay, so it's Garrett Grayson who's the third one off the board, and we knew that maybe the Saints could go quarterback. A lot of people thought it might be Bryce Petty, but it is Garrett Grayson from Colorado State who's the third quarterback taken in this draft to New Orleans.
Yeah, he throws with anticipation, which is rare for a college quarterback today. He changed the nature of their program from a losing program into a winning program. He's one of the few guys in the draft you can see him slide, move in the pocket, throw into anticipated windows, and actually throw people over. Now, will he overwhelm you with his physical traits? No. A little over 6'2", pretty good arm, pretty good athlete, but I think the whole is better than the composite parts. And he reminds me a little bit, and I'm not trying to say he's Drew Brees, but his game is similar to a Drew Brees.
Well, it's the guy who is going to be learning from, and now Garrett Grayson, it appears, must take the Peyton Manning fat head down from his wall that he says he still has from his childhood, because it's now time to either put a Brees fat head up or his own and go to New Orleans and take down the competition at some point. Are you surprised that this is the third guy off the board?
I'm only surprised in terms of physical characteristics because Petty, Hundley, Mannion looked the part. But all the things that Mike was talking about, the thing that impressed me most about Garrett Grayson was his ability to stand in there while everything's going on around him. And any color that flashed, he didn't flinch, and he still stepped up and delivered. He's also sneaky athletic. Watch the throwback pass to him against Utah in the bowl game where he takes it for a touchdown. But the thing that I look at this one and think of Sean Payton. Remember, Chase Daniel was the long-time backup there. Yeah. Garrett Grayson can do a similar deal. Run your offense, get you in out of the huddle what you need, pick up things very quickly, and go out and play.
You ready for the nugget of the night? This is the highest the Saints have drafted a quarterback since Archie Manning went second overall in 1971.
The Minnesota Vikings have traded the 76th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. With the 76th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Chris Conley, wide receiver, Georgia.
Chris Conley flat out flies, folks. 6'2", 213 pounds. One of the smartest players in this draft, with more diversified interest than a typical football player. He's an engaging young man, and he can get vertical in a heartbeat.
That's the Honda War Room cam of the Kansas City Chiefs, who coughed up the 193rd pick overall, a 6th rounder, for the right to go up 4 spots and choose Chris Conley. We're back with the Browns pick, and then the Saints are on the clock again.
The 2015 NFL Draft is presented by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable 4G LTE network.
Randy Gregory, the last player in the green room, and it was the Dallas Cowboys adding into a line that they added Greg Hardy to earlier. The man that Gregory's hugging suspended Greg Hardy for 10 games. Interesting times in Dallas, always interesting times in Dallas, as we are awaiting the 77th overall pick in the draft. The Vikings traded with the Chiefs, because the Chiefs traded up from 80, and then the Vikings moved down to 80 and then just traded that pick to the Lions. So there's lots of trade galores. The Vikings keep trading down, trying to amass some picks. Let's head to the stage right now. The commissioner coming back out again.
The NFL joins all Americans in supporting active duty and veteran service members. Our Salute to Service campaign honors their commitment and their love of our country. Please welcome here and in Selection Square service members from all 5 military branches and 4 Tillman Scholars from the Pat Tillman Foundation. Announcing the next selection is Army Sergeant First Class David Fink.
On behalf of the service members, thank you, Commissioner, for the NFL's support, both here and abroad. And now, with the 77th pick of the 2015 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Duke Johnson, running back, Miami.
Okay, so you add him to a backfield that had a couple of rookies in it last year. What do you think of this pick?
He's an undersized specialty back that's very similar to Amir Abdul, 5'9", 207. What I like this year is I thought he improved both his hands and his receiving, but he's quick, he's explosive, and he understands the zone run scheme.
And check out the scene in the Duke Johnson home in Port St. Lucie, Florida. LaDainian Thompson, what do you think of this pick?
I like the pick, Rich. Duke Johnson is a talented running back. And, you know, he really reminds me of Giovanni Bernard from the Cincinnati Bengals. Both explosive runners, a guy that's very good out of the shotgun. He's going to add tremendous value in the passing game. And when you watch his film, the one thing that sticks out is his explosiveness and his ability to get to the corner, turn that corner, and from there, he can hit the home run from anywhere on the field. I really like this pick. You know, as I mentioned, he's similar to Giovanni Bernard, as you see here, a guy that's also strong, but they're built similar, 5'9", a little over 200 pounds, but I really like this pick. Adding to that backfield in Cleveland.
Yeah, Isaiah Crowell, Terrence West, and now Duke Johnson setting off a party in South Florida. You know it. The Saints, Niners, Lions, Bills, and Jets coming up. Catch every moment of the 2015 NFL Draft. Watch every pick from every round live with NFL Mobile exclusively from Verizon. So the Saints, 3 picks ago, take Garrett Grayson, the quarterback out of Colorado State. Now they're on the clock again. This is the 3rd round pick they received with Donnell Ellerbe in that trade for Kenny Stills that took place a couple of months ago. And we'll hear what Troy Vincent will say on the card that's been presented to him from the draft table across the street by way of New Orleans.
With the 78th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select P.J. Williams, defensive back, Florida State.
They get the long corner from Florida State. Remember, they signed Brandon Browner in free agency. He's 6 feet 194. Some people think he can also play inside, corner or free safety. Smooth athlete, some character concerns highlighted by a DUI within the last month. However, he can close, fairly physical, and like most Florida State athletes, he was highly recruited coming out of high school.
It's time for the 49ers now to choose the 79th overall selection for San Francisco. That went Arik Armstead out of Oregon, and then Jaquiski
With the
Tartt.
79th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Eli Harold, linebacker, Virginia.
Eli Harold at 6'3", 247. I'm surprised he's lasted this long. He's a natural 3-4 outside linebacker, which fits in with what Eric Mangini wants to do. Ability to bend and flatten to the quarterback. Very surprised he lasted this long.
And the 49ers trying to replenish the linebacking core. They've had guys with injuries, guys retired, the whole deal. Eli Harold makes a perfect fit for them, able to come off the edge and play with his hand in the ground, some at Virginia as well.
Yeah, all three of their picks have been on defense. You went Armstead, Tart, and Harold. Now it's time for the Lions, who traded up 8 spots to the 80th choice that the Vikings moved down to. So they've moved down twice now. Here's a Lions move up pick.
Pick to the Detroit Lions with the 80th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions select Alex Carter, defensive back, Stanford.
Today's NFL, we're going to see more and more corners converted inside. Alex Carter potentially one of them. 6 feet, 196. Extensive production over 3.5 years. I question the ball skills. He got around the ball a lot, did not have many career interceptions.
So the Vikings, they started this round in the 76 spot, moved down to 80, moved down to 88, and got a 5th round choice from the Lions to move from 80 to 88. And then the Minnesota Vikings to move down just to that other spot. They got a 5th round choice and a 6th round choice to move all the way down. So they're collecting a couple of picks, and they now sit in the 88th spot as the Buffalo Bills pick is about to come up. Then there's the Jets. We're almost caught up here. Right now, the Eagles are on the clock at 84. We're about to get the 81st pick in the draft to be announced right here. Let's go back to the stage. Fast and Furious here.
Keep them moving.
All right, yeah, here comes Troy. Come on out here, Troy. Here we go.
With the 81st pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select John Miller, guard, Louisville.
Well, you look at that's the second lineman is taken from the University of Louisville. John Miller's an inside player, very strong, physical, a guy who gets his hands on you. It's really strong at the point of attack, Mike, and he just moves people off the line of scrimmage. And the good thing about him is I still look at him and I think he can get much better because he's one of those guys that once he get into the right camp and and be around just some veteran players, they'll teach him how to play the game better.
I followed him around for 2 days at the East-West game because I had a good feel from him from when Louisville played Notre Dame, and I wanted to see him against some top flight one-on-one competition. When he gets his hands inside and locks out, that is a strong dude.
Very strong, can lock you down, clamp it up, and he's hard to move, and he can move people out of the way.
No doubt.
And welcome to the AFC East. Now go block Ndamukong Suh in Miami, right? Go block Muhammad Wilkerson, Sheldon Richardson. That's a big reason why you get those guys. You're going to need that to combat what you got to deal with.
Leonard Williams, too, now in the mix.
Yep. Exactly.
In the AFC East. And the Jets are next to be having their selection revealed here, followed by the Chargers, and then we're almost caught up. I mean, this is really going really
don't
fast.
say that. Don't say that.
I know. That's,
don't say, you
that's punching the clown.
There goes the clown.
To use the Mayock phrase. I've been hanging around you too much. So the Jets, the Chargers, then the Eagles, then the Bengals will be next up on the clock here. Anything just leap out at you, Mike, as we have sort of a minute to catch our breath before we hear from what this brain trust in New York has given us?
You know what? One thing has jumped out at me, and it's about the New Orleans Saints. And when they were really good and winning Super Bowls, they were one of the most physical teams in football, and people didn't understand that. They thought they were a finesse team because they threw the ball so much. But when they win, it's downhill, physical, and tough, and that's what this draft has been, an offensive tackle first. They got Kikaha, an outside linebacker. I mean, they're reinforcing toughness and physicality, and I think that's what Sean Payton wants.
And perhaps if the Jets feel that there's a quarterback in the draft to be had in the 3rd round, Petty, Hundley, Mannion, if there's any of those quarterbacks left, this would be the spot for the Jets to go ahead and choose it. That's their last pick of the night right here. What do you think, Mike?
I think you've got a new GM and a new head coach. And I don't think Geno Smith's the answer. Okay, I think he's got the physical skill set, but I don't think he's the answer. Ryan Fitzpatrick is there for a stopgap, a quarterback that can get it done for a period of time. You better feel strongly, though, that you want another young arm in to compete, and you better feel like he's as good or better than Geno Smith, or you're just wasting a pick.
Let's go down to the podium now for the latest pick from the New York Jets. Looks like they got a diehard fan with them.
We're excited. So many fans here in Chicago have had the opportunity to experience this year's draft. Here tonight are more than 100 NFL draft diehards who have attended every round of every draft for more than 10 years. Stand up. There you go. You too. Representing all of you diehards, here's New York Jets season ticket holder Albert Mard to announce the Jets selection. Albert.
With the 82nd pick of the 2015 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Lorenzo Mountain, linebacker, Louisville.
Here's a guy, you can't help but root for Lorenzo for what he's been through, and this is a dream come true for him. I'm so happy for that young man. And the thing about it, he plays so hard, goes hard all the time. Had to slow him down in practice numerous times, but it's just so happy to see him and what he's going to bring to the game, and just his character, Mike.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. You know,
that was the first guy you wanted to talk about when we sat down this morning.
That's exactly right. We pointed down and said, "You will go tonight."
And you were right.
And he grew up in 16 foster homes. 16.
It's amazing.
And now he is a National Football League player for the New York Jets, Chargers, Eagles, Bengals, Cardinals. Still to come here in Chicago. Third round, we're moving down. We're matriculated.
We're back outside in Draft Town, USA, midway through the third round. And a quick reminder, right after the Cincinnati Bengals make the 99th and final selection through the first three rounds, it's a live edition of NFL Total Access presented by Bridgestone, coming your way immediately after the third round of the draft. All right, San Diego Chargers, they've gone running back, linebacker in their first two rounds. They're going to go...
How about offensive line? I know T.J. Clemmings has a foot issue, has an injury, but at this point in time, and this is tremendous value if you're able to get T.J. Clemmings. I thought he had potentially first-round value.
LT, ready to find out what your team's doing?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
With the 83rd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the San Diego Chargers select Craig Mager, defensive back, Texas State.
Yeah, to me, this is a player you start to hear more about late in the process. Small school player, but has the measurables that you're looking for. Big-time makeup speed when you study him on tape. Now, he is raw as raw can be. He's going to need some time before he's ready to get on the football field. But you see the toughness right here, and you'll see some splash plays when you watch 3 or 4 games. You see him blitz off the slot. He's very physical, he's very aggressive, and he can run. Those are a lot of good qualities to work with. Some technical stuff down the field, going to need some time and some work. Definitely betting on the upside here in San Diego.
You like it?
I do. This is about John Pagano and the way he wants to play defense. John has to have really good corners so he can press and he can attack offenses. I believe that's what this pick is about.
And that's what the third round's about. You take a guy that is raw, that's unknown, coming out of Texas State, and you think the upside based on the physical skills that he has, this is just the kind of guy that coaches love to develop.
Up next on the clock, Chip Kelly and the Philadelphia Eagles. They went wide receiver Nelson Aguilar in round 1. They traded up earlier this evening in the second round to snag Eric Rowe, the defensive back out of Utah. What's he cooking now?
I've stopped trying to predict what Chip Kelly is going to do, so I'll defer to you.
So after they didn't go for Marcus Mariota, you were finished.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
No. There's Chip Kelly is going to do. He can do whatever he wants. Maybe a Pac-12 player. Go figure.
Well, he's done it, in 9 of the 17 picks since he has come to the NFL. So let's see if he adds yet another one. Once again, they've gone wide receiver. They have gone DB. And so it is time right now to head back across the street and find out what Chip Kelly does here in the third round.
Here we go.
To announce the Philadelphia selection, please welcome Eagle fans Frank Arnold from Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Troy. With the 84th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, my Philadelphia Eagles select Jordan Hicks, linebacker, University of Texas.
All right, Coach Strong. Jordan Hicks just went off the board to Philadelphia.
You know, the thing about Jordan is just one of those players is he's a coach, Mike, on the field, a young man who's battled through a lot of injuries, and I'm just so happy for him to come back and have the senior year that he had. I was telling our players, it's, you know, like you go through a season and there's some guys you wish that you could have back. Yep. He's one of those guys. I told Big Malcolm he can go head on. but I love to have Jordan back because he's just very, like I said, very physical, a smart player, and a guy who can play in space. When you're talking about spreading him out, he can play in space.
Did the Eagles reach out to you at any point to kick the tires on him a little bit?
No. I thought maybe he would go around earlier, but that's me talking.
Hey, I'll tell you, it was interesting because I think a lot of people liked his physical traits. I think they were worried about the durability.
Yes, because he had battled some injuries.
Yep.
And this is the first year that he's really been healthy. Because he, you know, and he said it to me. Because I think last year we tore an Achilles, and then when he didn't go through spring practice, all got him in the fall camp, and then he was ready to go.
Well, who's going to be the next Texas player taken?
Or Louisville.
Huh?
I mean, Coach
or
Louisville,
you're
right
on the
now.
roll, man.
3 out of the last 4 have been Louisville or Texas.
I don't know. You know, I know it's going to be hard. I don't know yet.
Don't forget Quandre the Giant.
That's
Quandre
exactly
Diggs is still
right.
sitting out there.
San
Someone to
Reed
get a
is
good
sitting
slot corner.
Here comes the Bengals pick. Probably someone from Texas or Louisville.
With the 85th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Tyler Croft, tight end, Rutgers.
Yeah, you've got another tight end off the board. Tyler Croft from Rutgers, one of the real solid guys that as the process moved on, gained more and more steam. Big enough to play in line, but he is willing to block. I think he's got a little more upside in the pass game than people think. You could see him make several outstanding catches. If you watch enough of his tape, they just didn't go to him all that often. Right, Charles?
Yeah, there weren't a ton of targets to him. And when I first turned on tape, I thought I saw a guy just ran short routes. But I think he can get up the field a little bit better. Yeah, you can see him get into the seams. It just wasn't a major league target for them in what they were doing. But in Cincinnati, he also is a guy who's a willing blocker. So think about what Cincinnati's going to want to do. Run the football, bring in another big body that allows him to do that in their division.
Well, there's a new nickname, right, for a 2 tight end set. The Twin Tylers. Got Eifert.
Double Tyler.
Now in Croft. That was the reaction. And Funchess' house and all over. Tevin Coleman. Good time. Don't go anywhere. We're back with more in a moment. Here's today's great moment presented by Michelin Tires when the Kelly family had a very, very moving 5 minutes on the stage as a standing ovation greeted Jim Kelly prior to him reading out the Buffalo Bills' first selection of the draft, actually. It was Ronald Darby, defensive back of Florida State, when he read that one out tonight. Jim Kelly being here. The Cardinals, Vikings, and Rams war rooms. You could see them right there. We're waiting to hear from the latest Cardinals pick.
The 86th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select David Johnson, running back, Northern Iowa.
Boy, they needed this pick. They needed a big back to complement Andre Ellington. And in David Johnson, almost 6'1", 224 pounds, outstanding pass game traits. Big back with speed. Like to see him stay consistently more physical. Played a great game against Iowa. And remember, Iowa's a team that didn't recruit him coming out of high school. He caught the ball for over 200 yards. I said caught the ball. He catches it like Le'Veon Bell. You can split him out wide. You can keep him in tight. This kid's pretty special in my books. And I know with LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, I haven't seen a running back yet, LT, you don't like.
A lot, Mike, and I really like what he's going to add to Arizona. A great 1-2 punch, as you mentioned, with Andre Ellington, but a guy that catches the ball really well. He moves well in space, but a big body guy. I'm really excited to see him take that next step at the National Football League.
And was David Johnson a former wide receiver?
Yeah.
That they converted inside? Sure helps you catch the ball better.
Here's Troy Vincent.
With the 87th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Sammy Coates, wide receiver, Auburn.
Pure speed, big body, 6'1.5", 212. Takes the top off zones, difficult to cover man. Height, weight, speed specimen. Tremendous with the ball in his hand. My only question is, how natural are his hands?
I don't think they're very natural. I mean, and I'm not trying to be hypercritical here, but the way that he plays the game, if he had natural hands, it would have been a first-round pick for him, not in the third round. And he's a guy who can get vertical on you, get inside and make plays. Look at what Pittsburgh's getting, though. Remember Plexico Burress coming out? All right, some people talked about that, developing that a little bit,
With
and
the
they're getting that
88th
again
pick
out wide.
In the 2015 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Daniil Hunter, defensive end, LSU.
Okay, this guy was polarizing, positive or negative. 6'5", 252. There is no doubt that he's a physical specimen. Height, weight, speed, he's got it all. He's got considerable upside. I didn't think he was anywhere near ready to come out. Another year at LSU, he could have been a first-round pick. He's got all the traits you want, but he still has to learn how to play football.
What do you have? 2.5 sacks for the season? Somewhere in that neighborhood. When you see him and watch him flash, it blows you away, Coach, to think that he only had that few.
Well, with his size.
Well, here comes we're coming fast and furious.
With the 89th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams select Sean Mannion, quarterback, Oregon State.
Okie dokie. Here comes another quarterback off the board.
Remind me a little bit of Mike Glennon. Long, 229 pounds. Didn't get any help up front. Had no blocking, no wide receivers, but he does throw with anticipation and timing. Like most tall quarterbacks, he's got to quicken the process a little bit from decision-making through delivery.
So Sean Mannion, the 89th overall pick in this draft, will be backing up Nick Foles, who was an 88th overall pick in a draft back in the day. Ian Rappaport, let's talk about the other quarterbacks that are sitting there. Petty and Hundley, what are you hearing about them?
Well, Rich, let's start with Bryce Petty. There's a lot of teams that wonder, for a quarterback that plays in such a simple offense where you rarely go in a huddle, you rarely take the ball from under center, you rarely have to read a defense, how long will it take to actually adapt to the NFL? That has been a big question, and for a guy who some scouts consider the best pure thrower in the NFL, there is a question of how quickly he can adapt to the game. And then there's Brett Hundley from UCLA. Talked to a quarterbacks coach earlier in the week about this. He's considered a great athlete. Why was he sacked so many times? They can't get over that.
So Sean Mannion goes to the Rams at 89, and now here come the Baltimore Ravens at 90 with the Dallas Cowboys right behind them. Let's go back to the stage. Again, one after another. I'm liking this. That action.
Troy's getting a workout in now. Let me tell you, he doesn't need to go to Stairmaster.
This is cardio.
He's getting it done.
Hopefully he's hydrated. Can't cramp up here.
Stretch.
Get him some water.
With the 90th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Carl Davis, defensive tackle, Iowa.
Now there's a value pick right there. Some people thought he'd sneak into the back end of the first round. 6'4.5", 320. Why do the Ravens always end up with these kind of guys? Because Ozzie Newsome and Eric DeCosta are patient. That's why. Outstanding Senior Bowl week. Love his physical traits. His Iowa tape didn't match up to his Senior Bowl tape. My theory is when he's one-on-one with a tackle or a guard, and all he's got to do is beat that guy in a one-on-one situation, his physical traits win. But when it's 11-on-11, he still's got a little bit of a way to go as far as learning how to play the game. But he has dominating height, weight, speed, physical traits.
All right, we are down to the last 9 picks of night number 2. The Cowboys war room. Looks like the Joneses are congratulating one another. And we are looking also at the Broncos war room. There's the Duke, the unmistakable Duke, right there at 92nd overall. They just brought their pick in. Back with their picks in a moment. Welcome back to Chicago. It is 10 o'clock here in the second city for the second night of the NFL draft. 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We've got a whole full day tomorrow. It's going to be a quick turnaround as we're heading into that park with Buckingham Fountain and the Draft Town across the street from this beautiful auditorium theater that's been home to the NFL draft all week long. Draft Town having over 250,000 people expected to be there tomorrow with a 70-degree day coming to Chicago for the first time all calendar year. We have not seen anything about Brett Hundley or Bryce Petty. It is the end of the round. The Cowboys, Broncos, you don't see too many teams that are going to go ahead and maybe take one of those kids. So it looks like they're going to be waiting around overnight. They are the best available for Mike Mayock. What do you think of the Petty Hundley challenge right now?
It just reinforces the notion that the quarterback class was so weak this year. And what happened with the quarterbacks, the safeties, and the tight ends is really there was no succinct order at the quarterback class after the first 2. It's pick your flavor. What type of quarterback do you prefer? And I think that's what's happened.
Yeah, and then obviously La'el Collins, he's still sitting there on your draft board, and his agents was telling the league that if he's not drafted tonight, he's not going to sign a contract, and he's going to put himself back in the draft next year. We'll see how obviously that plays out. Let's go back to the stage right now. The Dallas Cowboys, one must assume, is going to take a running back.
I would assume anything the way tonight is gone.
Okay. Here comes
Seems
Troy
right.
Vincent.
With the 91st pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Chaz Green, tackle, Florida.
See, now that's an interesting pick. DJ Humphries, the left tackle, got all the publicity, but 4 of their 5 guys on the offensive line were at the combine. Chaz Green played the right tackle. And the more I watched DJ Humphries, the more I got an appreciation for Chaz Green. Played a lot of right tackle for them, but he's athletic enough to kick to the left side when needed. He could probably even play inside, but I think at best he's a swing tackle with a chance to start on the right side. That's an interesting pick, a little earlier than people expected, but he's a good football player.
Here comes Troy with the Broncos pick.
He's going to need a trainer before this night's over.
With the 92nd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Jeff Hireman, tight end, Ohio State.
Charles, you like that one. Go ahead.
Well, I love this pick. I absolutely love it. Jeff Hireman played last year with a bad foot, so you didn't get to see the best of him going downfield. Here are the traits that you put on. Solid inline wide, meaning he can block at the point of attack in the line of scrimmage. He's an excellent pass protector. When there's a passing game and you keep him inside, he does a great job of that. Also can swing back inside and be a lead blocking back in a one-back set if you want to use him like a fullback. But can get downfield, can make the big catch, a lot more athletic than you think. A hockey player until he's 14, 15 years old, had to make a decision whether to continue playing hockey and go to Canada or stay home and play football.
Well, Peyton's going to put the biscuit in his basket.
With the 93rd pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Henry Anderson, defensive end,
I like this one.
Stanford.
This guy appeals to the 3-4 teams. He's a true 5 technique, means the defensive end in a 3-4 front. 6'6", 294, long with deceiving strength. I believe he's an NFL starter all day long. And it was interesting to watch the 3-4 teams graded him in the 3rd round. The 4-3 teams had him as a late draftable because he fits a certain scheme. He plays hard all day long. He's a better athlete than you think. And for 6'6", he's got an ability to get skinny and explode to the quarterback. Really good pick here.
The Stanford Alumni Club of Indianapolis just gets another member. And look, I mean, I know Jerry Jones and the Cowboys said coming in that they were happy with Darren McFadden and the two guys that they had backing up DeMarco Murray last year. And their strength is their offensive line. And instead of going ahead and getting a running back, they went offensive line. For Cowboy fans that might be scratching their head over that,
they're still going to get a run.
They've got guys.
Plenty of running backs, especially the fact they signed Darren McFadden. Now, McFadden, when healthy, can be explosive, but they'll get a compliment somewhere in the next couple of rounds.
Ian Rappaport?
Rich, I talked to a Cowboys executive this week that said because of the depth in this draft, they would not be surprised if they waited to the 4th or 5th round to take a running back. Now it looks like they will.
With the 94th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Ty Montgomery, wide receiver, Stanford.
6 feet, 221. Ty Montgomery had a disappointing senior season. Some people thought he'd be a first-round pick entering the season. Inconsistencies in their pass tack. He was beat up a little bit. Brings value in the return game also, Charles.
And I think that's where the strength is for him right away. Be a big-time returner, work his way back into being a wide receiver. I thought he had a very inconsistent, tough Senior Bowl week. Maybe it was a different style of coaching, but he wasn't the Ty Montgomery that we had seen before. Those flashes and his weight. Keep his weight down a little bit because he's a very strong guy. He gets up 225, that's too much. Down to 220, 215 range, a whole lot better.
We're going to go back down to the podium for the Washington Redskins. They were 69th. They were 5th pick overall in this round. And Seattle hopped all the way up from this spot, 95, to go get Tyler Lockett of Kansas State, handing Washington 3 picks in tomorrow's day. Here's their
With the 95th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Matt Jones, running back, Florida.
There's a big specimen right there, Matt Jones, 6'2 and a half, 231 pounds. I thought he was a big physical downhill guy, Charles, that has to learn a little bit more about the run game. Patience, not pressing the hole so quickly, but he's got a lot of talent.
And Daniel Jeremiah, when we were watching tape on, first thing he said is, core special teams guy and pass protects well for a quarterback.
Well, if you're fans of compensatory picks, this is going to be your part of the night because the Patriots will choose their last selection of the 3rd round, and then the compensatory picks commence to finish up our night. Welcome back. NFL Total Access post-draft report is coming up here on NFL Network as soon as we are done, and we've got 4 picks to go. Things sort of got, after getting one pick after another, the proceedings have come to a little bit of a halt because the Cleveland Browns traded back into the 3rd round with the New England Patriots, their final pick of the round, and we'll get you particulars of that trade and what they did it, who they did it for. But time to check on today's best value presented by Golden Corral. Michael?
Well, Max Williams was the best tight end in a very mediocre class, so I was kind of intrigued to see how long he would last and who would get him. And the intrigue came with the Baltimore Ravens trading up 2 spots to jump ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Max Williams ended up being the guy.
Here's Troy Vincent with the Browns
the 96th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft. The Cleveland Browns select Xavier Cooper, defensive tackle, Washington State.
This is another guy that I really like. 6'3", 293. Thought he had great vision for a defensive tackle, meaning an ability while he was in contact to disengage and find the football. Like his upside. He can get overwhelmed at the point of attack by a big body with long arms, but he'll fit in exactly with what Mike Pettin and Jimmy O'Neill do on defense.
And I guess you pair him with Danny Shelton, and the Browns have taken care of that need. in this draft with their first and latest pick.
They're going inside out, and for 2 years we've been saying they got to take a wide out. They got to take a wide out.
Yeah.
So they got Dwayne Bowe, Brian Hartline in free agency. But this guy, Cooper, when he disengages and finds the football, right, Coach? He's got to disengage and find Le'Veon Bell, disengage and find Gio Bernard, disengage and find those passers in the division. It's a big deal. I think he's an excellent player. I watched him on tape again last week, and he really jumped out at me.
Well, you're always looking for separation off blocks, and that's what we're talking about, disengaging, and that's what he can do.
Well, they gave up 3 picks to go make this pick. New England trading out of that spot gets a 4th-round selection, 111th overall, a 5th-round selection, 147th overall, and coughed up 7 and a 6th-round 202. They got 3 picks, and New England gave Cleveland number 219 in the 7th round.
Right.
So Belichick,
coaches are very particular. When they want a player, they're going to go get him when they know they fit his scheme exactly.
And New England's like, fine, go ahead, we'll do that. We'll collect some picks because we've got a compensatory pick coming right up next. This is for the loss of LeGarrette Blount, who they got back. Dane Fletcher, Brandon Spikes, and Aqib Talib has led to this compensatory pick for the Patriots.
To announce the New England selection, please welcome Patriots fan John Bertolome from Manchester, New Hampshire.
With the 97th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Geno Grissom, defensive end, Oklahoma.
It's a really good fit for New England. He's played all over the place at Oklahoma. Mr. Versatility. And in New England, he can be an edge rusher from the outside. He can drop in coverage. Bill Belichick and his defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, value versatility. He's an athlete, and he's versatile, and he's smart. That fits New England.
Let me tell you how versatile he is, Mike. I've done a number of Oklahoma games over the years. I have boards in my possession at home, your spotting boards for a game, that have Geno Grissom listed as a tight end, have Geno Grissom listed as a defensive end, have Geno Grissom listed as an outside linebacker. He's played all 3 of those positions at Oklahoma, depending on scheme and time. And one season, both sides of the ball throughout the season.
Great fit for New England.
So the Chiefs pick is in a compensatory pick, loss of 8 free agents, names like Jeff Schwartz, Brandon Albert, Dexter McCluster, Tyson Jackson. There you see Dorsey and Reed, very animated right there at the table. And here comes Troy Vincent with this pick.
With the 98th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Steven Nelson, defensive back, Oregon State.
This is another Charles Davis special. 5'10", 197. Charles, take it away.
Mighty Mouse.
I knew you were going there.
That's my guy. We watch him at the Senior Bowl, and he will fight you, Coach Strong, on every single snap, every single possession. They may have to put him in some boxing gloves early so he quits being so handsy in what he does in terms of coverage. But this guy competes every single snap, will come up and tackle more than what his frame will show you. See him right there stepping up, making a play. Where he gets challenged, of course, is vertically with the height. But this kid doesn't back off on anything. Love his footwork, love his aggression. He sees it, he goes.
Well, the thing you like, he doesn't back down. So he's one of those players that you can play inside because of his size. And he'll be able to cover it, he'll be able to cover the slot. And if you need him outside, you're gonna have to get him help over the top, because you don't ever want to see him get bodied up with a bigger receiver. So, but he's one of those guys, if you place him inside, then he's a guy can go cover and can actually blitz off the corner.
Yes.
Tackle and blitz off the corner for you.
Right.
If he were a baseball player, the Mighty Mouse theme song would be his walk-up music.
I like it. Right now we just have Gangnam Style blaring through here. So we've got one more pick to go. It's the Cincinnati Bengals compensatory pick. Interestingly enough, one of the people for whom they received this pick, Michael Johnson, who is back on the team. That's the way of the world sometimes.
Cap management, baby.
And the Bucs are going to be paying him most of his salary this year, and they're going to get a pick.
And I'll bet you he has a very productive season in Cincinnati, just like he used to.
Hey, we want to wish a good friend of ours at the network. We work so closely with him in the league office. He doesn't want to be wished a happy birthday. Happy 65th birthday, Chris Vassallo. You don't look a day over 64. Look at you now. Chris Vassallo's a good dude. He helps out with NFL Network so often from the league office, and he's the one who's been gently getting the commissioner out on the stage as best as he can throughout this entire process. So way to go, Vassallo. All right, here's the pick. Final pick of the final round that'll be held inside. We're going to go outside tomorrow.
70 degrees.
In Draft Town, yeah. So this will be it for Auditorium Theater here in Roosevelt University, across the street from that scene. Michigan Avenue separating us in this auditorium from there. Here is Troy Vincent with the last pick.
With the 99th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Paul Dawson, linebacker, TCU. This concludes night 2 of the 2015 NFL Draft. We hope that you will join us tomorrow, beginning here at noontime Eastern, for rounds 4 through 7. Thank you and good night.
That's a pretty significant name to wrap up the night right there.
And by the way, Paul Dawson's tape is as good as anybody's tape in the entire country. He's the most instinctive linebacker I saw on tape this year. A little bit like a Chris Borland. He trusts his eyes, great instincts. The question with this kid and why he was not a first or second round pick is he's not a tester, so his measurables aren't good. And there's heavy questions about his football character.
Coach, against you on Thanksgiving night, if you plug in the first 30 plays of that game, I don't think he took 2 false steps the entire time. And he goes to Cincinnati, which has been a great haven for guys who have had trouble before, and a great landing place for them where they've gotten their careers on track.
Well, some guys are football players, and that's what he is. He makes a lot of plays. He's not going to test out well, but he's just always around the ball.
Thanks for being with us, Coach Strong. Thank you. You had a strong night.
We appreciate it, man. It was great to see you up here.
How about all those players, Coach, that got picked tonight?
That will wrap things up for us from inside this beautiful auditorium. 126 years worth of activity, and the first draft is in the books here. NFL Total Access starts now.